Siri, open camera.
Okay, we are testing our audio. We had a little bit of trouble.
Hi, guys
Let us know how we sound.
and gals. Let me know if I'm too low. I feel like either I'm too low or I'm too loud. I'm
Distinguished
overmodulating.
guests, how we doing over here?
You ain't it, Vic. That's the
All
trouble
right,
with
sounds good to
family,
me.
Vic.
We're making sure we're not clipping or peaking.
It weighs you down.
Clipping or peaking.
I'm
Sup?
peaking. I'm peaking.
Don says sup. That's one of all. Big D Don.
Hey, Don, how you doing? You ain't it, Don.
If we're sounding good, we'll continue.
Let us know. Am I too loud?
If we're
Am
sounding
I
good,
too
we'll
low?
continue.
Albie's always good. My mic has just been, it's been failing me these last several shows. I don't know why.
Yeah, I recommend one of these. This is the Shure.
Of course you're recommended because that's what you have. You're so mic centric. You're a mic bigot.
I might be.
Willard's saying if a deaf person can hear you, then you're good. I guess I'm good.
Yeah, but does that
Don
mean you're
says
too
sounds
loud?
good.
Don says
Almost
sounds
as
good.
as Albie's glasses.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I got to get new batteries, but the red seems to be working.
Albie in the sky with glasses.
With glasses. Okay, you good?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just wearing a sweater. I don't have a geek shirt tonight.
I might have to.
Not
I
yet.
might have to do this
yet
intro a couple
anyway.
times. So
Hey, listen.
bear with me. Live chat.
I know I did a rundown. I don't know where it is.
Almost. Oh, you got to open it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm asking you the trivia question tonight, right?
I think so. I
Okay.
feel like I'm always reading the trivia. You
I have
gotta give me a trivia.
my glasses. Yeah,
Beauty in
yeah.
disguise with glasses. All right, I got it. I found it.
Okay, got it.
I mean, as much as I'm gonna get it.
Am I sparkly? I
You
put on more glitter.
are. You're a joy. You're
Oh,
a
let's
pleasure
check the
to
YouTube.
behold.
Let's check the YouTube to make
The
sure.
YouTubes.
I didn't
No,
get a
the
notification. Are we
YouTubes.
live there?
I don't know. I don't
That's a
know.
good point. Let's see. Home.
Wow, my phone is just about dead. So
Are you plugged in? Yeah, is your
I'm at
notifications off?
10%.
What does your
Ten
phone do?
percent, and I'm not plugged. My new
Does it
phone. My
does it
beautiful
do anything
new
for the
phone.
show? Ooh, save it for the show. We got to know.
All right, but yeah, it's gonna die.
Okay, it looks like we are live. Okay,
We are
good.
live, and
Yep.
we're live.
Live on Twitch and YouTube. Facebook still says 60 days, which makes no sense because it's been 90.
Yeah, but we record 3 times in those 90 days, so
Yeah.
we're not very consistent. But it's been a lot.
Woo! Okay, Willard's got a Trek and Tell for later, so he'll call in.
Hey, all right, cool.
We'll call in after the feedback. Is that right, Chris? Or no? Feedback's up front after
No,
before we do our
way
crushes,
after
right?
the discussion. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll let
And
you know, or Chris can jump in if he feels it. Okay, I'm gonna. You ready? We'll go.
whenever you are, yeah.
I'll give one more. Give me a
What
clap.
are you doing? What are you doing giving me a warning? You know you love to catch me off guard.
It's been a while. Okay.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Okay. Okay, I think I got it. I might have to do it twice. We'll see. Hello, Treksplorers, and welcome back to Treksploration. I'm Albie.
And I'm Chris.
Listen, chat, it's time to raise your yeah. I want to introduce to you my Pookie, Christopher D, and the D stands for Delicious, DeFilippis. How you doing, Chris?
Wow.
Skirt!
Skirt, caw. Are we crows? What was that last bit?
It's for the kids.
I don't expect to understand any of what you're saying, but I'm just flattered that you dream all of this up for me or the kids. I'm happy for the kids too.
We are entertaining middle schoolers, just so you know.
Oh, yeah, no, we're entertaining one middle schooler who has a
Well,
vested interest
one
in
in
watching us.
particular.
Yes, yeah.
One in
So-
particular, but she shares that with the other people she learns with, and they have the same reaction. Old guys, I guess we're old to kids.
Yeah.
Old guys talking the brain rot lingo that the kids do now.
The brain rot lingo.
I think that's what it's called. Skirt.
It's my favorite dance. The brain rot
Yeah.
lingo.
Well, yeah, I do that around Halloween.
I tell you,
So-
what What do you think of the new haircut?
I
I feel
like
like
it.
I usually have a 6 head. Now I feel like I got a 7 head. I don't
What
know.
what do I got? I don't know.
You got a 4 head,
Maybe
right?
4.5,
Yeah,
four
no,
and a quarter head.
I got the giant dome up here. I've always had it though.
My hairline has never changed. It's weird.
Mine is it's kind of recedes up here a little bit, but
Widow's
not what
peak.
you would think for my age, right?
No, no,
Like
no.
my friend Eric said, you know what you have to look forward to, just you increasingly looking like Eddie Munster,
Yeah,
because
it's not a bad thing.
I'll have that widow's peak, but I still have that. I got my Griffin hair. It's like it's my grandfather's hair, my
That's
mom's
good.
dad.
I got a haircut today. I don't know if you noticed.
I didn't. I saw. I thought that maybe somebody died and a ring flew to you and it put on and it burned out all your fear, and now you're just on the willpower, the power of willpower. It's the power of
Power of
willpower. Are
willpower.
you part of a core? Are you section 2814? I don't know.
823, section 823.
All right, so you're not part of a core.
No. Was that a Lord of the Rings
No,
reference?
no,
I'm
no.
still
It's
working on those.
green. Hello. You see Kyle here? I think I showed you the Kyle statue. I don't know.
Oh, Green Lantern.
Hello, Green
Is that
Lantern.
Green Lantern?
It says it right there. Green Lantern.
Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah, when I went to dinner tonight, instead of calling names, they give you little placards. And tonight I got Green Lantern. I don't know if you saw that. I sent you.
I did not see it. You
It's
sent me
in
a
it.
lot of stuff though.
A lot.
And
It's in the Yumi and Allison chat.
listen, I'm a bad friend. So, and also we have
In the
like
best
4 chats
possible way.
going. I have no idea which chat. I have to eliminate chats just so I don't miss other stuff. You hit me up on Messenger. You hit me up on Discord.
I do.
You hit me up on
I do.
Instagram. You hit me up
I
on
do.
text. I never know where to look for your messages. And then you're like, you didn't see that? I'm so crestfallen. It's like, what?
Well, lately, I've been sending the same thing to multiple chats, so hopefully you see some of my chats. I
mean,
can't
look,
take a hint. Just so you
just
know, I can't take a hint.
no, it's not even a hint. It's just like send it to one consistently. That's all I ask. I'm old. I can't keep up with this crap. I just
Okay.
want to watch Battlestar Galactica and fall asleep in front of the TV.
What episode you on?
I finished it last night.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
Wow, you going to do
whole-
Caprica next? Did you do Razor and all that stuff?
Which one is Razor?
Isn't that what it's called, or what is it called? The Michelle Forbes movie,
Oh,
TV
I
movie.
remember that. Yeah, those were like webisodes or something.
No, I think it was a full one.
Well,
They did
Michelle
do
Forbes
episodes
did
though.
come in with the Pegasus in
Yeah.
season 2, and that that was resolved.
Don't spoil the ending, but what do you think?
Oh wow! I gotta say, solid all the way through. There is a point in like season 3 where it gets kind of boring. It's just like, all right, get on with it. But I think that's also maybe a byproduct of us streaming it now.
Yeah,
Had it been dribbed and drabbed out week to week like it was when we first watched it,
it was. Yeah.
yeah, I think it would have been a lot more compelling. But it gets to again in the streaming environment, it's just like seems a little bit like filler. But also, you got these are still from like 2001,
Hmm.
2004. There's still like 20 episodes a season, 23
Hmm.
episodes a season. And this is a sci-fi series, like Sci-Fi Channel. Not sci-fi. It is a sci-fi series, but it's also sci-fi before it was SY.
Yeah, and I think it was sci-fi, not
Sci-Fi Channel. Yes,
sci-fi,
correct.
whatever. That's when they went down. That's when I stopped watching.
So anyway,
Anyway,
I finished it last night, and it was, it was really good. I mean, it holds up. It
the
holds
boy
up.
with the green hairs in it. Isn't that cool?
Yes, yes, Brother Cavill. Yep, he's
Yep.
in it to the end. He's in it to the end.
I-
For anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, is Dean Al Calavici Stockwell.
Al Calavici, Dean Stockwell. Yes,
So
he's still out there looking for Sam.
It's
Uh,
nice to see Dean in BSG.
So I don't want to even spoil this part, but what was your impression of the reframing partway through the series? That's how I'll put it.
I don't even remember.
Really?
Yeah, here's the thing. On my TV, I tried to put it on like the HD,
Mhm.
and it was so grainy that I put it back on the more cinematic setting that I watch everything on, because if it gets too sharp, it looks like somebody's home video to me, and I get like the illusion evaporates.
Oh.
It's like too real, and then I can't. It looks to me like people acting. I need a certain level of visual softness. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like
To
24 frames and
right
softness,
to give me
some grain.
that cinematic sense, and I don't mind the green. Green is good.
I like
Matt
grain.
taught me that.
Yeah.
My late great friend Matt Dale said green is not the enemy. It's just trying to upscale stuff. I feel like I think like the Buffy.
Oh, that's a nightmare. Watch the
Yeah,
DVDs, not the HDs.
they degrained everything to the point where everybody looks plastic. It looks
Hmm.
weird, right?
Hmm.
I don't watch Buffy, so I don't know.
And they filmed it in widescreen. That's a good one to go through since it's coming back now. They filmed it in widescreen, but they framed it for full screen. What they did is they used AI upscaling and AI reframing, and like so there's like C stands and lights and people and crew members as you're watching the show now. Ugh. And just everything looks plastic. Yeah, they did a bad job. Nobody actually watched it before they released it. So
Gotcha.
hopefully they redo it again. So for right now, I say DVDs and full screen.
But I feel
But
like one of the things about Battlestar was like the visuals were always a little overlit, like it was always a little bit blown out. That was just a
Mhm.
choice they made, so it becomes especially apparent on like an HD TV or whatever media
Mhm.
you're watching it now in this environment. I feel like it was made for the technology of the time. So
Mhm.
I tried to downgrade my image to match what the creators were going for. And once you do that, it's still it holds up pretty
Without spoiling it, without spoiling, what did
well.
you think of the jump? And I won't say what kind of jump.
There were so many jumps. I mean, it's just jump.
Not like the one in 33. Was it 33? But I mean, like partway through the
33 is like
series.
the third episode.
Yeah, but no, partway through the series. Anyway,
Anyway,
my jaw dropped. I was shocked. I'd never seen anything before like that
yeah,
on television, and I was mad. But
Don
then I got used to it.
Don is saying the jump.
You know what I'm talking about? Are you
I
picking up what
no,
I'm putting down?
no, I do not
Yeah.
smell what you're cooking, but I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. Okay, so and I literally just
Okay,
watched the whole
but
series.
positive, negative. Any negatives? All right. I just
Um,
watched it for Trisha Helfer.
yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
And
Uh,
Linda Park, right? Grace Park,
uh,
Linda Park. Which one's in this one?
Grace, it's Grace. Linda's in Enterprise. Grace is
Grace,
in
the Park
Battlestar.
sisters.
Yeah. We talked
Okay,
about the
Grace
Parks.
Park. Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, so the jump, I don't know.
Anyway,
Don is very excited about the jump, but right,
he likes to jump people.
Don is watching, right?
Don is watching. That's one of all. Big D Don, the delivery man. Is he still talking BSG? Don says. Uh, uh, Willard says his hair ran for the hills. All right. Run for the hills.
Wow,
John the
Maiden.
Ranger.
That's a
Yeah,
good,
yeah, yeah. You ever go to Maiden concert? I went once. It was
run.
amazing.
Now,
Sun and Sunrise.
you want to know something about Maiden?
What?
My brother's favorite band growing up was Maiden, and I grew up waking up every morning to posters of Eddie, like Number of the Beast, 666, and to this day, I'm listening to I don't know Hair Nation on
Yeah,
Sirius
that's a good
or
one.
Ozzy's
Check it out
Boneyard,
sometime. Yeah.
and like a Maiden song comes on, and like in three notes I can name it. And Laura's like, "How do you do that?" I said, "I osmosis. I just I don't. I didn't even like it, but I grew up with it. So, and
They got
now
great T-shirts.
and now I think, if I have to point to metal, I'm not a metal fan.
No.
I find it aggressively and annoyingly juvenile most times. I know I just lost a bunch of fans, but Maiden holds up. I think Maiden holds up. Like I think they got a solid base.
Hmm.
And I know that there was one of our 11/22/63 and CRTV listeners that told me that they thought that Bruce Dickinson of Maiden was very operatic. And I mean, I suppose if you want to put it in context of metal, he is very melodramatic. So that could equal to operatic, I guess. But yeah, I mean, when you've been to, I'm sorry, when you've been to the Metropolitan Opera for season tickets, like I have for decades, yeah, Bruce Dickinson.
Maiden.
He kind of pales. He kind of.
Maiden are very musically talented, but that whole heavy metal thing is about being crazy hard just to so people don't understand you, and then it's weird to look back at it to where like you can't get any heavier, and now it just seems old to kids because they're listening to other things
Well,
like He Ain't Me.
I think of like when I think of a heavy metal, it's like when you're angry and 15. But hey, you know what? Hey,
Yeah.
hey, dude, you're 40. Get over it.
Hey, dude. Yeah, I like everything. I like everything.
Anyway, and like I
I like
said,
everything.
Maiden to me still holds up. Like I'll hear Still Life, and it
Yeah,
takes
yeah,
me
yeah,
back.
sure.
I hear Run to the
What's
Hills.
your favorite Maiden song?
Still Life. Still Life is my favorite Maiden song.
My favorite has to be Can I Play with Magnets? Because I'm so into science, Um,
I don't think that's the song, but I love you for getting with that. That is, I've never heard an Iron Maiden pun, and you did it. You pulled it
Can
off.
I
You win.
play with magnets?
You win Iron Maiden, sir.
Thank you. I win Iron Maiden. Okay, today we are talking about Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's finally happening, peeps. It's finally happening,
We
chat.
have been talking about this for 1,000 years.
Season 1, Episode 19, Coming of Age, written by my close personal friend, a person I adore, almost as much as I adore Christopher DeFilippis, Sandy Freeze. I always get that wrong. Sandy
Dude,
Freeze.
he's your close
I
personal
know.
friend.
I call him
You can say
Sandy.
DeFilippis, but not Freeze or Fries.
The D
What?
stands for delicious. It's spelled like fries. It's pronounced like freeze. It's Professor Freeze. He's like a Bond villain or maybe a Batman villain. I don't know, but he's like the greatest guy. We're chatting all about this episode, which is great because like I can just like hit him up like if I got a question, like what's this about? What's that about? I hopefully everybody watched the interview I did with him. I think I did like a 2-hour video where we did like a watch along, an interview, show and tell. It was pretty cool. Did you watch any of that, Christopher?
I meant to. I didn't. I
It's
was
a good
I
one.
was I was downstairs. My wife got me a turntable for Christmas, and I
Ah,
was listening
sweet.
to albums that I hadn't heard in 30 years. And then she was just like, "Hey, you want to watch Supernatural?" And I'm like, "Okay." So I did not get to watch Professor Freeze.
Oh, he's a great guy. So I
Now,
do recommend that.
and
He
I
will
will
answer
tell you
all your
this.
questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I did listen to that interview. I can put it in context. It's weird because that's back when we were a podcast. So that was part of the QLP, that right? Wasn't it? That was part of the
Yeah.
Quantum Leap podcast.
Yeah. Because he also wrote Little Miracle.
Right. He wrote
That's how
he
I met
wrote the
him.
Charles Rocket episode.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I
Saturday
recall
Night Live.
listening to that interview on the podcast. I was out east a little bit here on Long Island, driving towards Shinnecock Canal. I was on
Do I got to bleep that?
Dune Road in West Hampton, going out east to Shinnecock. No, you don't have to know. It's an actual thing. Right, right. It's not even, and we're live. It's just
And
what
we're
it
live.
is.
No, it's like Titicaca.
You're right. So I mean, so I
Exactly.
was going to Shinnecock Canal, and then I remember hearing it halfway there. Then I got to Canal. I parked, walked around. There's like a giant like break front there with a bunch of rocks, and the ocean's on one side. A bay is on the other side. In the bay, I saw a couple of seal, and it was like it was winter, like it was Christmas time. So I was there in the winter, and it's one of my favorite times to go to the beach. Anyway, I remember hearing half of it on the way to the canal and half of it on the way back home. So I did listen to it many, many moons ago, but do I remember any of it? I don't know. And I'm going to ask you some questions about this episode because I have been discussing one particular aspect of this episode with friends for years now, and I still cannot arrive at a conclusion. So.
So you think you would have watched the episode, but I understand you got a wife. If I had a wife, I'd be watching Supernatural too.
Yeah, she said,
Maybe
"You
I'll
know
save
what?
that.
Can we watch Castiel?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
Heck yeah! What episode you on? What season?
We're on like season 8 now. I mean, she cannot get enough of it.
That's
I
awesome.
expected her to fall off after season 5 because everybody falls off after season 5. But I'll tell you this: season 6 is remarkably solid, like much better than I remember. And then season 7 is like the Leviathan season, which I hated when I watched it. It was still not as bad as I remembered it. I think my memories of, and now we're on season 8, which is Dean and Benny and Purgatory, and I don't know, but Laura's still enjoying it. And I have a thing about Supernatural, but we can talk about that another time because tonight We're talking about Coming of Age,
Season 1, episode 19.
episode 19.
It was original air date March 14th. Pi Day, 1988. 3.14159652357.
Directed by Mike V'ger.
Really? Wow. And written by my friend
Sandy
Freeze.
Professor.
Yeah, he's a professor. He teaches television writing, I think.
And a
some
Batman
college
villain,
somewhere.
I believe.
Yeah, he wrote some Batman. He wrote some Superboy. He wrote a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe animated Spider-Man.
Seems like Don held on to Supernatural until season 7. Like I said,
until season 7. Yep.
We all did. Yeah, we all did.
I'll probably watch it through. Right now we're doing Big Bang up into season 6, episode 12. About
That's 10 seasons, 11 seasons.
I want to say 13.
I watched all of it, so I love it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know what? There's a lot of people.
great.
They're out there. They're crapping all over the Big Bang. I've heard. This is what I hear about Big Bang. It's
You haven't watched? Oh, you watched all
It's
of it.
nerd blackface. It's like, get over yourself. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? This is the hill you're going to die on. It's
No.
what? Because they're saying they make fun of everything that nerds like without respecting it. I have never felt more affinity for a sitcom than I did for Big Bang, because they talked about all the crap that I know about and love. And
Yeah.
as fans, they treated it like fans treat it.
And they're
then
accurate.
Then you had Penny come in to be like, like my wife, like, what the hell are you
My wife.
talking about? And I get to look at Kaylee Cuoco too. All right, it's fine by me.
Yeah,
And
like
then-
it's the perfect balance. Kaylee Cuoco and like cool nerdy stuff.
right. And then they bring on Bernadette and Blossom, and it's just like they balance out the
And,
show so nicely.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah. So I love it. And
Nothing to
big
complain about.
fan.
And it brings up so many stories.
And we watched all of Young Sheldon, and we're watching Georgie and Mandy now. So
Yep,
Chuck
that's the
Lorre
plan.
has my heart.
That's
Chuck
the
Lorre
plan.
owns me.
That's why we're doing it. But it's great because it's we stop whenever they do something cool that I did, and I tell Serenity the stories. Like, when they're hacking the TiVo, I'm like, let me tell you about my TiVo hacking days. So that's probably why it's taken a while to get through it all. But man, I had some cool ass TiVos. Christopher DeFilippis, something I probably watched on TiVo was TNG season 1, episode 19, Coming of Age. Could you give us the episode synopsis
I can.
for this amazing episode of Star Trek?
By Professor Freeze. We open on a rare glimpse of the lower decks, or maybe mid decks, where Wes is consoling his friend Jake Kurland about beating him out to be the candidate to test to get into Starfleet Academy. This will be important later, but the upshot is that Wes is testing to get into the Academy. Go Wes. To facilitate, the Enterprise enters orbit around Relva 7, where the Academy testing will take place. And wouldn't you know it, Picard gets word that his old friend Admiral Gregory Quinn is beaming up to discuss a matter of great importance. Quinn beams up with his attaché, Commander Dexter Remmick, in tow, and they are there to investigate something wrong on the Enterprise. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, Wes beams down and commences testing with 4 fellow candidates. Human Oleana Moran, Vulcan Tishanik, and Benzite Mordock. Of the famous Mordock maneuver, or whatever. Wes gets to testing while Remmick gets down to business on the Enterprise. And by that, I mean douching it up on the bridge and putting everyone on the defensive while he asks unnecessarily pointed questions about ship operations. Riker is having none of it, but Picard says, hey, Will, I gave my bud, the Admiral, my word that we would cooperate fully, so just go along and get along, all right? And back on Relva, Wes is crushing it because, he's Wesley Crusher, passing every exam thrown at him with comparative ease. Oleana says he'd be obnoxious if he weren't so cute, to which Wes flies around the reindeer game saying she thinks I'm cute, and his red nose comes out.
You got it.
He doesn't give a crap. He loves that red nose, and she thinks he's cute, and there's always tomorrow. On the Enterprise D, Remmick is grilling the senior staff about Picard's behavior and leadership, claiming there are discrepancies in the logs, and we need to get to the bottom of it. And more on that in a sec, because we're going to cut to Wes again, moping on the holodeck. Worf barges in as if a 15-year-old boy isn't potentially living out his newfound Oleanta fantasies. But it turns out, as if. Turns out Wes is trying to figure out what to conjure up that will scare him because he is worried about the upcoming psych test for his entrance exams.
You can do it.
Yeah, his upcoming psych test for Starfleet Academy entrance exams. Worf gives him some pretty awesome advice, which we'll talk about later, about overcoming anxiety and fear. More on Remmick. Remmick's pointed investigation into Picard's choices and competency has the senior staff up in arms, and they're having none of it. Ask all you want, but Jean-Luc is like the best Starfleet captain ever, and you go scratch, jerk. We interrupt these proceedings to return to Chekhov's gun. I mean, Jake, the troubled teen. You remember him from up top. I told you.
Jake, yep,
Jake, yep, troubled teen. He steals a shuttle and is all like, don't look at me, I'm running away. And then he immediately screws up flying the shuttle so bad that he is definitely going to die, a gruesome death, burning up in all of his atmosphere. And I wonder why he failed out of, testing to be in the academy. But Picard gives him some kind of Kirk fu and talks him back into safety. Remmick is impressed, but he continues to dig into the crew until Picard is like, you know what? Enough. This has gone on too long, and I've been a fool. Take a walk, Commander. Back at the Academy testing, Wes is continuing to be awesome at everything, but it's time for the dreaded psych test. They lead him into a small room, and he's waiting anxiously until he hears a boom outside. He rushes to the source and finds two officers trapped in a Kobayashi Maru tableau where he can only rescue one of them. He does so, leaving the other one to his grim fate. And then the lights come up and the masks are lifted. And Wes is like, you got me diagonally. Pretty sneaky, sis. Turns out this was his psych test. How would he react having to leave a crewmate to die? Just like Picard had to do with Wes's dad, Jack. Despite this revelation, Wes is not chosen to join the Academy. Murdoch beats him. And Picard has also had enough. He confronts Admiral Quinn and is all like, knock off the BS. Remmick then delivers a glowing report about how awesome Picard and the Enterprise D crew is. Quinn is all like, great. This was a test. I need people I can trust because there is a threat to the Federation that we can't figure out. Is it coming from outside? Is it coming from inside? We don't know, but I'm promoting you to commander or commandant, right? Commandant of Starfleet Academy so I can keep you close, Jean-Luc. I need people I can trust. Picard thinks on it for a bit, but subsequent discussions with Jake the Troubled Teen and Wes convince him that he belongs on the Enterprise, which is kind of weird because he's speaking to two people who are potential students and getting them through their thing, and you think that would be great for the Academy. But anyway, he sees it as being part of the Enterprise. But anyway, the Admiral gives him some more nebulous warnings about dire implications to the security of the Federation. But he's like, okay, never mind, Jean-Luc, you do you. The end? I don't know.
The end?
I don't know. Is this going
We don't
anywhere?
know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Is it the start of serialization? I don't know. Thank you so much for that one, Chris. That was amazing. I would buy that on audiobook. Seriously.
Yeah, I could read it a little bit better, but you'll fix it in post.
Oh, yeah. No. You're going to have to help me with the Vulcan name because I can't get it every time. One of the tricks I do is when I watch an episode, I say their names out loud so I hear it and remember it.
I put it in the summary. And
yeah.
It's Tashenik.
Tashenik, yeah. It's
okay. Played by Tasha or Tasia. Tasia. I can pronounce Tashenik. I can't pronounce the actress's name.
Well, it's in the original Vulcan, so
Tasia Valenza.
Sounds good to me. The Omnipotent Willard said, "Did you hear about the new Big Bang Theory spinoff coming out?" Yeah, I did. I think it's what is it? Is it Stewart from the comic book shop, or is it about Kripke and Stewart?
I don't know. Watch a Stewart show.
Oh, we'll watch it. Yeah, we'll watch it because they got new nerd stuff to talk about.
Bernadette. I want a Bernadette show.
Bernadette's
she's too busy
on
being
NBC.
Night Court now. She's too busy.
Yeah, she's too judgy for me right now.
She's too busy being Harry Stone. Hello.
Yeah. Does she do magic tricks? I don't know. I only watched the first episode.
She can do magic. Bum, bum, bum.
I think we had the first season before it premiered, like the whole first season, you and me, but I only watched the first episode. I was like,
copyright violation. I just sang magic. That's, I want to say that.
Oh yeah, Billy Joel got us last time, huh?
Right.
So let's see. Where do we want to go? We are talking about Star Trek. Billy Joel. No. But fill me in on your life. It's been like a month, and I don't even think you were on the last show.
What was the last show? What? That was your show, not my show.
It was just for tax purposes. We did a Valentine's Day commentary on 2 episodes of Voyager. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Who did that?
I did that.
I didn't even know you did that. What?
You know.
I don't know what's
That's
going
why
on my own channel.
That's why I text you on every single thing.
That's here's
But
the thing is be more selective on your texts, and I won't miss so many.
So less noise, more, just like one a day, maybe.
Listen,
I'll put it all in like 2 paragraphs.
I'm old. There are a lot of channels you
I'm
get.
old. I thought I paid for it.
What's going on with my life? You know, my life is continuing apace. I feel like we haven't been on because first I was sick, then you were sick, then I was sick, and it's been a scene. Like this February has been pretty tough, and you know, I'm good, and I want to talk about especially this episode because, spoiler alert, I really enjoyed this episode, and
Woo!
it's just like getting together. Even Listen Linda, our cadet, Listen Linda's just like, it's been a while. You guys okay? And so thank you, Linda, for your concern. But yeah, we're okay. It's just, you know, life gets in the way. I've had this weird. Should I go into it? Do you want me to go into it?
Yeah, I'm interested in it. See, we got the younger kids
told
with
you.
the skirt and the yeah. But we need to keep the older audience with our ailments.
Don is saying yes.
So we hit both.
So, but I told you about this last time. Like, we got off mic.
He always
when
says yes.
We did that show,
Trust me.
that 9-hour show, and I got off mic. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I crawled into bed. I had this weird allergic reaction, and about Kripke, hello.
Kripke, Denise, Stewart, and Bert. Who's Denise? Maybe I haven't met her yet. I'm only on
like
season
Kripke.
6. I like Kripke.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't think that's.
You're not supposed to like him, I don't think.
Was he named?
I like
after
Will Wheaton better.
Was he named after Kripke from Supernatural? Maybe.
You want to think, right? But I like
yeah.
Will Wheaton better. They should have a Will Wheaton as part of the cast. Then I'll definitely watch it.
But anyway, over the last several weeks, I've had just like weird hives coming up on my body for no reason. I have no idea what's going on. I'm allergic to something. We can't figure out what it is, but you know,
It's Albie, probably Albie.
I have various allergic reactions that will sometimes blossom on my forehead and cheeks, and then you can't.
In my opinion,
I will not
nation,
get on camera because my beautiful face is all blotchy. So. You know,
and then you were good, and then I had gorges.
And then I don't know. You had what was going on with you? Like you had like neck things or what?
No, I had a gorge, which is a Klingon pimple, but it's more fun when you say it in Klingon. I had a pimple here. I had a pimple here. I had a pimple. I'm like, what's going on? Am I a teenager again?
Right.
So
I don't care. Like pimples, I'll be all right.
The omnipotent Willard said, "You are allergic to Section 31." That might have been it.
Yeah, and also I think I broke out in hives because we went on too friggin' long on that show. My God, did we need to know when to shut up. We're still figuring that out, but Section 31, I want to apologize to everyone personally who stuck through to the end of that. Thank you. I tried. It took me 3 listens on my phone.
I thought it was great. I only watched it 4 times after.
Yeah, we have different. I get so sick of hearing me that I have to turn myself off, so
I'm the opposite. I just listen to both of us on loop. So I think we have some Section 31 feedback in a little bit. But what do we do next here, Chris?
Well, first impressions. What did you think of this episode?
Man, maybe first impressions from back then. I loved it because it was a Wesley episode, and I think it did Wesley really good. Overall, first impressions from just it being in my life for so long is that I really enjoy it. It's well put together, well made, and I love Wesley, and it's cool that he has a crush thing going on, and I think it really starts off really important story arcs for certain characters that we'll get into later. But for that, I really appreciate it. What about you?
Cool. This is another episode of S1 TNG where I watch it and I say, why do people say wait till season 3 when it gets good? This was a good episode. And even parts where I remember it where, okay, it's not going to, I think anyway, it's not going to hold up on a rewatch because there's certain wheel spinny parts of this. But even upon a rewatch, when you know where it's going, it's still engaging, and
I'm
so vested in these characters now, and I just am dreading where it becomes rote TNG, which turned me off way back when. Maybe now that I have this basis, I never had the foundation before, but this episode is one of those things that might help me build a foundation to sticking with these characters for the long haul. I think these characters might make it, is what I'm saying.
They might be 65 and 79 still on the Enterprise D. I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe
I don't
we'll
know.
see.
I don't know. But before we put all of you through the psychological trauma of us talking about this episode, please reach out to us. You can get us on our Patreon. That's patreon.com/Treksploration. If you want to support the show, there are several levels over there, and we do some watch us more there, some exclusive content. You
There is
can
an N more coming up soon.
yeah,
And the Valentine's Day thing, that was an N more.
and I got other stuff too. Yeah. So that's why I don't have, I'm not a Patreon member, so I didn't see the Valentine's Day thing. So that's why. But
All right.
you can also, we want you guys to comment here on the YouTubes down in the comment section. Just go down there and tell us what you think about this episode, what you think of us, what you think of anything, what you think about Professor Freeze. I mean, it's got to be glowing.
Professor Freeze.
He's amazing. He's the
The
greatest
amazing
Batman
guy.
villain ever. You can
Oh,
get us.
did you
on-
get the picture of his little doggy Toby I sent
did.
you?
I thought you were sending me a picture of Penelope. That's how cute Toby is.
Right?
Right?
Toby. If I ever meet Sandy, I want to hug Toby. I'm just saying.
I got you. I'm right there with you. Instagram us at Treksploration Pod. You can blue sky us,
Blue
treksploration.bluesky.social
sky, smiling at
or
me.
pisky.social.
Nothing but
We got
blue
TikTok
sky
at
that I
Treksploration.
see.
Email us, treksplorationpod@gmail.com. Buy us a coffee, buymeacoffee.com/Treksploration.
The Omnipotent Willard did.
Thank you, Omnipotent Willard. And you can also send us whatever you'd like in the P.O. Box. That's P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York, 11705. I'll say that again. P.O. Box 542, Bayport, one word, New York, 11705. And Albie, you've also been putting out, I don't know, like clickbait shorts, like little things, like so don't miss those. Are those? I see them when I'm scrolling through my Insta feed, and all of a sudden I come up. I'm like, how'd that happen? So
Yeah, I'm trying to get the kids. We need the kids because Star Trek is dying, is what I hear. So it's because we're all dying. The Star Trek fans are aging out.
I don't
So
know.
we got to get
We've
the
been
young
hearing
kids
about
with the
it.
shorts.
We've been hearing that about opera for the last 300 years, and we're still going strong. So we'll be all right.
That's true. That's true.
So special thanks.
Shorts. Yeah, check out our shorts.
Yeah,
A lot of
and,
wind in those shorts.
I'm telling you, a lot of room, a lot of room. They're blousy shorts. Special thanks to our lifetime member, the Omnipotent Willard.
The Omnipotent Willard!
Who thinks I'm allergic to Section 31. Also,
I agree.
thanks to our crew of intrepid Trek explorers. That includes the aforementioned Listen Linda, our Lieutenant Commanders Scott Seligman and Cosplay Dad, and of course, Captain on the Bridge, Captain Charles from Texas.
Captain Charles.
And for all of you patrons or YouTube viewers or Instagrammers or emailers, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, watching us. Send us photos of you for the credits. We'll put you on. So we have a couple of new YouTube subscribers, Corey Carmichael and Judasu Zero. I don't know what that. Okay. And Adrian Austin. So thank you for Corey.
Thank you, guys.
And Adrian for
Yeah. You want a
joining us
shout out? A one-time shout out? Subscribe.
here on the YouTubes. So
That's all it takes. Hit that button. Subscribe. It should be lighting up red right now when I say subscribe.
And we got some feedback from recent episodes. Again, like I said, from Linda. Listen, Linda. Thank you, Linda, for your concern. She says, I haven't seen any new content in a while. I hope no one is sick. If so, get better soon. We were sick. We got
We
better.
were both sick.
I had a rash. Albie had a pimple. Things get busy. And but we're here now. We're here now talking about the great episode coming of age. Captain Charles from Texas,
Captain Charles.
Okay, so in season 4, the Cradle of Vexilon. Oh, this is Lower Decks thing. Okay.
Lower Decks.
So we got some spoilers, it looks like. So season 4, episode 3, if you haven't
Small
seen
spoiler.
Lower Decks, just, I haven't seen any of these now. I'm just reading them now. Like, so. Boimler has the
Yep, I did
near
it. So that's why it's all
That's
garbled.
right. Near-death experience and sees the koala who speaks to him incoherently. Have you guys played the clip backwards? I have not. Albie, you're the tech guy around here. Have you played that clip backwards?
Yes, but only after Captain Charles sent that in. So if you click that link in our show notes, you can watch it real quick. It's only 15 seconds.
Well, if people are listening on their headphones, what does he say?
I don't know.
We gonna insert it? We gonna insert it here? Can we?
I always try to insert it.
I've heard that about you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Check it out. We'll link it down below, but yeah, check it out. It's interesting. I don't know why I didn't think to play it backwards at the time. But yeah, it's pretty
I
cool.
just called it up. Oh, it's like a Twin Peaks thing. Okay. Now. Oh. Okay. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
pretty
obvious
cool.
actually.
It reminds me of did you ever watch the Red Dwarf episode? I think it's called Backwards,
No.
where the whole episode takes place in reverse time.
Nope. Haven't
It's
seen it.
amazing. So if you go and play that one backwards, it's funny because a lot of the stuff that normally wouldn't make it into the show because they're just doing that, it will sound like later on. It's just like random weird stuff. Like I'm talking right now, but I'm not really saying anything, and
Gotcha.
stuff like that. So that's fun to watch backwards. Episode backwards. What other backwards stuff are there? Of course, Paul is dead. That's the most famous backwards thing.
Yeah,
right?
and also my brother went. Speaking of Maiden up top, my brother was a heavy metal fan, and there was a book that came out. It was called "Backward Masking Unmasked," and they talked about how like all the heavy metal music had like satanic messages embedded backwards. So wow, Satanic Panic in the '80s. I mean, go
They-
team, go
they-
'80s.
They always need something to be against, and it's always something new and different that 20 years later you're like, really, you're really protesting jelly beans? What was that about?
I mean, listen, Hotel California. I think had something backwards.
What is, I don't know that one. I love that song. That's
That
my
was in
driving song.
the backward masking a mess.
Was it?
I even brought it up to one of my teachers, and she's like, "Really, Hotel California? Really?"
I think what is it? Queen with Another One Bites the Dust. There's that. That's a pretty famous one.
So
I don't know if they're on purpose though. Some of them might be.
there is one. I think Stairway to Heaven has one that's just on purpose.
Really, Stairway? Man, I'm gonna have to get that book. I know Missy Misdemeanor Elliott did that on purpose.
Also, B-52s, I think, in Detour, through your mind, Detour through your mind. At the very end, they say something, and if you play it backwards, it says you shouldn't play your records backwards because you'll scratch them. And that was Fred. That was Fred. Fred Schneider from B-52.
That is awesome.
Love
that is
some
awesome.
B-52s. So, uh-oh.
Ooh, listen, Linda's on. What is she saying?
She says, now that
Oh,
you
that's
have a
true.
turntable, you can check out the background. I'm not going to ruin my records, Linda. You can.
It
ruin
depends
your
what type of
records.
needle you have. There's bidirectional needles, right?
Yeah, you know what?
For scratching.
It's 2025. I hope there's bidirectional needles at this point.
There should be.
I'm
I
not
fully
judging
support-
any needles, is what I'm saying.
I fully support bidirectional needles. Needles. Okay,
So
we got more feedback.
Danny Pooh, 3281. He's from Green Lantern section 3281. And Danny Pooh writes, as much as I enjoy hearing from the actors, I think that the writers are very underappreciated. I'd rather meet the writer of my favorite Star Trek episodes than any actors that starred in it. Really? Any actors? I don't know. I mean, Sandy, yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, 100%. But
Well, I agree with what Danny is saying. I'm a big fanboy of writers. You know that from me doing the Quantum Leap stuff. I always wanted to talk to the writers.
Hello. You're a big
Oh,
fanboy of
you're
writers. Hello.
That's true, because my favorite books are The Seeker, the novella of truth, and the Quantum Leap novel, Foreknowledge.
Right. So you're a big fan of me, this guy, who's a writer.
Yeah,
No, I'm a
this
big
guy
fan
right
of writers
here.
too. I get it, Danny. I would love to sit down and like talk to, like Ron Moore or Ira or, or even Brannon and Braga and just say, what were the considerations? What went into breaking every season? How did you evolve the show? What did, And I feel like Ron left because he wanted to do so much.
And he did.
Going back to BSG, and he felt his hands were tied, especially when he got the Voyager. He was just like, I got to get out of here. And then all of a sudden, there's BSG. and there were certain choices he made in Battlestar that he did just because they were opposite of Star Trek. Like in Star Trek, they always had the main view screen and like the captain, and he's like, "No, I'm not doing that." And that's why they had the Dratus. It was just like basically like almost like sonar or radar, you know. And yeah, it
Mhm.
was.
Yeah, very very submarine like. Yeah.
Anyway. So which writer do you
Part
want to
part
hear?
of me wishes that they had given which writer
Yeah.
besides you?
Yes.
Well, I want to meet Sandy, obviously, but I always wanted to meet Joss before all that stuff happened. Wanted to meet Gene before his stuff happened. Um, Ronald D. Moore would be great. I had a hot dog about 10 feet away from him,
Cool.
which was pretty cool. That's the thing. At the Star Trek conventions, the writers, I mean, the actors are rock stars, yes, but the writers are actually rock stars. I don't know of too many fandoms where people like recognize a writer of an episode and go, "Oh my god," or a producer or something like that. So yeah, they're really treated like royalty at the Star Trek conventions. So I've met a lot of them. The Voyager writers that I met, it's funny. I got pictures with them. I'll probably put them somewhere, maybe on the website. But like I asked them to get a picture with them, and they're like, "We're just the writers," and we're like, "Yeah, that's why I want a picture with you." So it's really
Like
cool.
duh.
I'm kind of thinking I would love a world where they just gave Ronald D. Moore Voyager and it would have been as good as Battlestar, but then we wouldn't have Battlestar. So I'm glad it worked out that way.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I remember Ron saying about, or I read anybody, I read anyway. Um, Ron was on Voyager, and he was just like, why not make it so as the series goes on, the crew gets more lax. Like people are walking around in civilian clothes and barefoot, and now you've introduced this Borg character, but you've cleaned her up to be the Babe with just a little bit of tech on her face. Why not keep her as like a scary Borg?
That would have
Like
been cool.
just yeah, and but they were just like
Wouldn't have got
no.
the ratings.
They're like nope, not gonna happen. He's just like see ya.
Yeah, I want to meet both the actors and the writers. But yeah, I'm a big
Yeah.
writer fanboy. But that was great with the Quantum Leap. I got to actually just be friends with the writers, and it was amazing.
Yeah. I
I
feel
still
like
didn't get Serenity's name in an episode that was supposed to be season 3. We got a lot of season 3 promises. Maybe they knew we weren't getting a season 3.
well, I mean, there was a whole movie named after your daughter. So
That's true. A couple of them. There's a what is it? One about a ocean ship, and it was pretty good. A murder mystery. It had Bradley Cooper. No, the other one, Matthew McConaughey. I always get those confused. Okay, any more feedback?
yeah, so much that I wouldn't have put in, but you're good at it.
Yeah, but it's been a month, so
Evan Wilson
yeah.
on the YouTubes just found you guys. Love the channel. Thank you, Evan.
Woo.
Never cared for Enterprise, but maybe I need to find some time to binge it. There's no maybe about it, Evan. Binge that stuff.
Do it. Do it
It's
now.
it's so good. I've been watching when we're not watching SPN or BSG. I'm doing ENT, and
ENT.
I'm loving it. I'm just da 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 da. I'm loving it. So, where you at, Albie? I lost you.
What happened?
I don't
Am
know.
I
You
there?
just you're blacked out. But
Okay,
you're
let's
here now.
start again. I'll
Here
mark it.
now,
Okay.
and you're
You're good. I'll cut around it.
okay. Cool. So, yeah, binge that stuff, Evan. Corman Productions. I think that might be someone we
Woo,
know.
it
Could
might
that be
be.
Dave? Could that be Stacy?
Dave
I
or
don't
Stacy,
know.
one of them.
Dave or Stacy, one or both. They say, I knew I wasn't going to like this one, quote, section 31 in parens. I didn't have much interest in the lead character from Discovery, and the trailer didn't help. Yeah.
Speaking of Corman Productions, look what I got.
You know, I have this. It's been hanging around my house.
Ooh.
I've been waiting to open it for QLP because Stacy said that it was more Quantum Leap centric.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're doing a QLP thing soon. More on that later.
But I got
This
it.
is
But I
a-
got it like it was like way back in December. So Stacy, thank you. I'm not ignoring it. I just was waiting for the proper venue in which to do the unboxing. That's all.
Corman Productions Deep Dive TV podcast. The T-shirt.
Very
Thank you
nice.
guys for
I love
that.
the green.
Appreciate it. Send me your merch. I'll wear it.
You know,
You
green
got a
is my
podcast?
favorite
Send me
color.
merch. I'll wear it.
My favorite color. Recolor.
If you want it to look good on me, it should have 3 X's on it, just like my movies.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Hey,
Whoa,
we're getting
hey.
blue. Oh,
Whoa, little
must
blue.
be Star Trek After Dark.
After Dark.
And I guess in that vein, we asked, what did you think of Section 31?
Yes.
Media Warrior 5957 replied, "It was shit."
Well, that's plain and simple. Yeah.
Right? I guess we could have gotten back. Sean Ray, the
I know
brilliant
him.
Sean Ray. We love Sean Ray.
We love Sean.
Sean of the Infinite Potato Alliance. When you're not hearing me here, you can hear me on very many shows over there.
Yeah, they're trying to poach you after I already poached you from them.
Yeah, they're mad that I'm not. I don't know if they're mad. They're just like, hey, Chris deserted us.
I would be sad.
I used to be on that Star Trek podcast. You should all listen to that Star Trek podcast.
I agree.
I love
great,
it.
great stuff. Send me a shirt, Sean.
Sean writes, Section 31 has always been portrayed as being an arm of Starfleet. In Discovery, they even had Starfleet badges. Badges? We don't need no stinking.
No stinking
They
badges.
operate outside the knowledge of the Federation because they sometimes work outside of peace treaties with other Federation worlds. And watching the movie 5 times can be labeled as a form of self-harm, which you did, I believe, Albie, right?
I did. Even Serenity was like, really, 5 times? I was like, it's my job.
Is it?
Yeah. Well,
Uh-oh.
I'm hoping it will be. We got a message from Susie Q's Never Ending Jewelry Party, which is in association with Corman Productions Deep Dive TV podcast. What's it say? Yes, I'm lurking. The feedback was obviously. I got to do it again.
There you go.
Dave and Chris, that package was full of Christmas presents for you and your family, so you might want to open it.
That means it's like Christmas in February right now. Thank you.
Hopefully, it's not a cheese advent calendar.
Oh, well. I mean, listen. I mean, it did stink for a little while, but it stopped now. So
But you can't. Well, that was maybe the pet mice,
it's
for the
come back
door
around,
mice.
is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So should you open it now or later? I don't know how
I don't
that
know.
works.
What should we do?
Maybe Susie Q's Never Ending Jewelry Party will let us know.
All right. So
I would
you tell
open
me.
it.
Do I open it now? Do I open it later?
Do it for
Let me
Christmas.
finish the feedback at least.
Yeah, feedback.
Captain Charles said maybe the Blu-ray will include an apology. Thank you. Captain Charles. That's
Section
what I'm hoping
31.
too. Listen, Linda, our favorite Listen, Linda. She said, "I loved when Chris was stuck in his." All right, this is like a deep dive. I don't know who watched it live, but so there was this point in the last live show we did where Albie just dropped off. And here's the thing: we record on a platform called Riverside, where if I just left, like my video wouldn't upload, we would have lost the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like stuck here vamping for, I don't know, what was it, like
Good
5
half
minutes?
hour. Half hour.
It felt like an eternity.
Yeah.
And I think that I can fill time and I'm interesting. And it was still a challenge for me. I mean, I love me. I love the sound of me. And I was still
Same.
just trying to. So I finally just dug out some old fiction that I wrote, like stuff that got rejected. I started reading that. But I guess Linda loved it because I literally felt like I was in an episode of The Twilight Zone. I was stuck in my own show. I couldn't leave. I didn't know what to say. If I left, the show would have gone south. Albie finally came back because you had like a power out. It was bad. It was over.
It was
there in
bad.
Florida.
It was internet power outage, everything combined.
Florida weather sucks. So,
Yep, it's raining gators.
Linda writes, I have a question for a future episode.
This is a future episode.
If you were trapped in an episode of Star Trek, which episode would you want it to be? And that question is also open to anyone who wants to comment.
I'll let you go first.
Wow. For me, it would be an episode of Enterprise, and I would want to be in the episode Home because that's my favorite episode, and I might get to interact with Captain Hernandez. So I'm gonna go all fanboy, horny fanboy here. And
Is that the one where Yoshi does a Die Hard?
I don't know. Home, no.
No,
What is
okay.
Yoshi? What is Hoshi doing that? Oh wow! Now I need a no. I want to be in a Mirror Darkly with Deadly Hoshi with the midriff stuff. All right, no, you just turned me. Yeah, I thought I wanted character stuff, but I really just want sexy Hoshi. And it's always sexy Hoshi,
she drops out of the vent and her top doesn't come with her. They're trying to get ratings.
Yeah.
I wore out that part of the VHS. Just saying.
You're not going to see anything.
No, I tried. Frame by frame.
So, question is
One
open.
day.
What about you? Which episode would you want to be caught in? A la Roe and Geordie.
It would be Voyager. Well, I'd want to. Well, Invisible Man. No, I don't want to do that. But it would be in Voyager, and it would probably be the episode "Someone to Watch Over Me," because in that episode, if it happened, we'll see. 7 of 9 is looking for someone to date, and she picks one of Robert Duncan McNeil's acting buddies because that's who they cast. But if I was living in that episode, she would totally pick me because I'm like part cyborg, so we'd have things in common.
Why does it always come down to the girls we want to bang on Star Trek?
I think if we had our pick of all the girls in the world, we wouldn't be watching as much Star Trek. I don't know how that works. At least for me. I know you're happily married, but I'm still looking.
I just feel like we have a lot to offer
On
so many topics, but it always comes down to Linda Parker's so hot.
Yeah, and Jerry Ryan, really, really pretty, and it's the romantic comedy episode, which is my deal, So
Gotcha.
It's a great episode. So
All right, that more in context for you, but
okay, we got some feedback from Susie, and she said, "I told you 2 months ago to open it on Christmas, LOL. So I never told you to wait for the QLP thing. So sure, open it."
All right.
I think you got the go ahead.
All right. So I just want to listen, and we got one more from Linda.
Oh, did we?
Linda writes, "What a fun way to spend Valentine's Day. Sorry I missed it, but I liked your commentary." Which Valentine's Day was that? Oh no! And she also wrote, "I enjoyed Captain Game Show. Have him on again. I love his podcast." Oh, so she's talking about the beautiful
John Irons. I love the beautiful John Irons. He sent me some Captain Game Show merch. Did you get any?
Yes, I did. I got my chapstick.
Yeah, me too. So it's lovely stuff. I think it's like a strawberry vanilla. Yeah, so thank you for that, the beautiful John Irons. Now my lip gloss be popping. My lip gloss be cool.
I'm now opening. I have my pen knife out.
All right.
Stacy told me. She said, "Hey, asshole."
One of all, Big D Don, the delivery man, says totally wouldn't give her PTSD. I think 7. No, I don't think so. I think me and 7 would have worked out until she met. It's a box of stuff and it's wrapped pretty.
I got to get off now the rundown and get back to where I can see my camera. Okay, here we go.
Very cool. Wow.
Thank you, Stacy. Let's see what's here.
She does lovely wrapping
for me and my family.
Yeah, she sent Serenity some stuff, Grogu some stuff.
My beautiful
very considerate
family.
Person.
This is a blue bag, and it says, "To Laura." This is for my beautiful Laura.
Aww.
They met in New Hampshire when.
Laura's the best.
Scott.
Love Laura.
As do I. Let's see. We're going to talk about coming of age soon.
Eventually.
Sometime.
Probably after the break at this point.
Yeah. It's glassy. Whoa, hey. It feels, I don't know what this is. It's like hand creamy. This is Oh Snap.
What's it smell like?
I don't know what it is. I need
an F-bomb?
My glasses.
Here, you can borrow mine.
Many gels.
Oh, nice. Nice.
It's girls. I'm going to call it girl stuff. It's a lot of girl stuff.
You got to moisturize, man.
More creams and gels. Warm vanilla. That's what they called me in college. Stacy realizes why Laura fell in love with me. And a nice French vanilla candle.
Ooh, I know why she fell in love with you.
All right.
Remember, I walked behind you in New York.
Stop it. There's only so much for me to go around. Oh, this is for me from Stacy.
Oh.
It's nice to have a Christmas unboxing in Feb.
My tree's still up. I'm representing.
My tree's in the garage. We're going to have it refurbished next year. Let's see. Oh.
The right stuff. What is it? Oh, wow. I think she knows you.
I think she gets me.
I think she gets you.
I love it. And there's also a scan me. I'm going to hold that up so anybody watching scan that.
Wow. Just for that, everybody go and subscribe to Corman Productions on YouTube and check out the Deep Dive TV podcast.
So Ducky McFly, Marty McFly. I feel like if John
Wow.
Cryer had been cast as Marty.
That is cool. We have Uhura and we have Statue of Liberty. That's the two we have.
Beautiful. Thank
They
you
got
so much.
they got a Janeway one I want.
Uh-oh. She writes to Penny from Lily. We talked about it. Her dog is Lil, and she knows that my first dog was Lil.
Big D says Howard McFly. I get it. Like Howard the Duck and Marty McFly. I love it.
There we go.
Did they make a Howard the Duck rubber duck? How would they do that? I don't know. I'll look that
So
up.
thank you, Lily. Let's see what Penny gets. I was listening to an Elton John song today, and he says
Which one?
something about Penny. I said, "Oh, I always sing like Bijan or Penny. I always just sing songs like I add her name." Like mongrels who ain't got a penny. So it was Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road.
Oh, we got some treats. We got cheesy peasy soft bakes
Oh, it did have cheese in it.
and nummy yums. Bork's nummy yums.
Ooh,
Very
wow.
nice. Beanie.
Merry Christmas.
And cheesy peasy. I might eat these
That
myself.
looks good. Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Hello. Thank you, Lily. Penny thinks you're the bomb. And one more. Let's see.
Susie Stacy. Susie Stacy.
Susie Q.
Susie Q.
It's stuffed in the bottom.
She's on my messenger as Susie.
And there's a card. Jesus Christ, Susie.
Consider it,
Stacy.
right? Us guys, we just sent out a postcard to people.
It's like, what the hell? I didn't wrap presents like this for my wife. I love the unwrapping though, so thank you.
It's fun. Does it smell like
Crazy.
peppermint?
I said to myself, we're not going to do a 3-hour show tonight. Guess what?
Well, it's been a while, so we got to earn them back, you know.
It says Merry and Bright. That's me. I'm
Merry and bright.
Opening.
Nice.
Oh, I wrote the box. I think this might be something that you might already have. Done it! Woohoo!
Woo! Oh, I like it. I like it.
And
And
hunter green.
just like my shirt matches my hair, your shirt is gray and it matches your hair.
It's green, you son of a bitch.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
looks right on
wow.
camera.
So you got to subscribe to that.
Yes, please. Everybody.
Link below
subscribe
eventually.
to the Deep Dive TV podcast, Corman Productions Deep Dive TV podcast. Free advertising.
Yeah, there you go.
And there's also a card. I have
Susie Q says it's actually Stacy Sue. Okay, I think what is it? Deborah Pratt calls her Susie,
I have no idea.
so that's what I go with.
I feel like I'm the only guy in Quantum Leap fandom who nobody knows who I am.
All you got to do is messenger.
You
and
have
then,
close personal friendships with everybody on the old and new show, and Caitlin's like, Chris who?
Caitlin's awesome. They're doing good. I messaged all of them during the fires. Luckily, all of them made it through.
Last
But yeah,
but not least,
she's working on a couple movies, a Mark Bernardin one and another one.
Merry Christmas.
Wow.
And she writes, from our house to yours, a very Merry Christmas. Dave,
Aw.
Stacy, Adam, and Lily. Thank you so much,
Aw.
guys. Merry
Oh, I
Christmas.
get it.
A belated Merry Christmas to you, too. So, Albie, put some jingle bells right here. And
You
then
got it, jingle bells.
Yeah. All right, there we go. So,
One of my favorite things that Susie, Stacy, and Adam gave us during that whole thing was so thoughtful. It was a Grogu. It was a cooking apron for Grogu because he does a lot of cooking, but we never had like an apron that fit him. So
I think we need to talk.
no, not yet. I'm not ready yet. But yeah. So now he puts on his cooking apron before he makes anything.
Okay.
Yeah, and it came along with like a little toy mixer blender and all kinds of stuff, some utensils and I don't know, maybe a chef's hat. There's a lot of stuff. It was pretty cool.
Well, thank you so much, Stacy and Dave and Lily and Adam for all of the stuff that you gave me, and Laura and Penelope. And we will cherish it. We got jasmine petals. We got warm vanilla. We got so many creams. The Oh Snap cream.
That's good. Yeah, it's good to moisturize.
Candles.
I mean, I know you look good naturally, but it won't last forever.
Back to the Future Duck. We love it.
That
We
is
love it. We
awesome.
love it.
That is awesome.
I'm actually taking it out of the package right now.
Heck yeah.
Who cares about the original packaging? Not me.
Yeah, mine's just sitting in the shower. The Uhura.
Mine's just gonna stay right here on my shoulder.
Wow, that's really cool.
There we go. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So
Oh,
thanks everybody for that feedback. Leave us more feedback here on YouTube. We need at least 3 comments down below. And how else? Oh, we got one more message from Susie Q's Never Ending Jewelry TV Deep Dive podcast. She said, I was encouraging Grogu to help more around the house. That's a good idea. Yeah, it's all on me. So maybe he could do some dishes as long as he doesn't get bleached because that stuff stains. The
I
green
think we should
fabric.
do coming of age. What do you think?
I think so. How can people get in contact with us before we go to the break?
Oh, I think I already said that.
You already did that?
Yeah,
Okay,
before
so is it break time?
before feedback. I guess. I mean, what? How many? We've been going for what? An hour and a half already.
An hour, but it's been a while. So, and
Oh,
I didn't do
good.
any feedback. I didn't do any feedback on the Valentine's Day show. So,
Gotcha. The one I haven't seen yet.
I'll take that. Yeah, exactly. I would watch your show anyway. Okay, so we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, we will finally be talking about Star Trek: The Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 19, written by my friend Professor Sandy Freeze, Coming of Age. And we'll be right back. All right, give me 4 minutes, and I'll be right back. I got to refill my drink and empty out my drink.
I'm gonna get a glass of water myself.
Sure, cool.
And I am back. I don't know what Albie's doing, but who else we got out there? We got Willard. I know we got Stacy. I know we got Linda. Don's still out there. I'm expanding the chat. So yeah, we got Don. We got Susie Q. That's Stacy. We got Willard. Listen, Linda. It's nice to hear from you guys again. I'm sorry we were gone for so long. It's just sometimes life happens and we have a certain window where we can record, and it seems weird because we're two pretty independent guys, but at the same time, life often just gets in the way. Like you think, great, we'll do like 4 shows this week, and you're lucky if you get one show done in 4 weeks. Not intentional, it's just the way it happens. So, anyway, thank you all for sticking with us. Oh, there's the man with the plan. Stop spraying that shit. You're going to kill yourself.
I'm trying. Look,
Do you remember?
it smells
Here,
like
I'm gonna
Christmas.
give you. I'm gonna give you cause and effect. Do you remember you had the one where you were just spraying yourself with that pumpkin shit? Yeah. And then I think a week later you were in the freaking hospital, almost dead. I don't
I
know if there's a
wonder.
causal. It could be. It could not. But I would just hedge on the side of caution. Is what I'm saying. Yeah. You know.
What if I'm allergic to fragrances or air freshener or CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons?
Aren't we all allergic to CFCs? Like, don't they like destroy the
Uh,
ozone?
Christopher DeFilippis. Okay, we're going to come back in a second and we're going to do our ad read. Just yes and me. I appreciate it.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
And
Did you change?
no,
Ah,
I don't
jeez.
change. I'm me. People rely on me to be stalwart and dependable. You can change all. You got the hair, you got the glasses, you got the shirts. I'm the asshole in gray. That's all I am. Maybe I'll have a flannel occasionally. I don't know.
And we're back. Welcome back to Treksploration. I'm Albie. Today we are talking about season 1, episode 19 of Star Trek: The Next Generation, Coming of Age. And this time we're really going to talk about it. But before we do, part of this episode is sponsored by Opera.
I
Now,
love opera.
I know you do, so I
You
figured you
don't
would be the
say.
person to talk about it. Let me do a little bit of the ad read, and then you can. I'll ask you what you think.
Please
Okay.
do.
Do you have trouble and get bored with your music types here and there? Are you listening to satellite radio and hear the same old song again? Why not try opera? Chris, tell us about opera.
Opera is a musical form that's been around for centuries, and the odd thing is, it's still a vibrant, active art form to this day. There are new operas being staged all the time. As a matter of fact, today, I think it was today, maybe yesterday, but I think today, the Metropolitan Opera just released its list of shows for the 2025-26 season. And one of the new productions is based on one of my favorite genre novels, The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay by Michael Chabon. Michael Chabon is an amazing author. Cavalier and Clay is one of my favorite books. It spawned a couple of comic books, which I have of their character from the novel called The Escapist. And Chabon was also the principal writer and architect of Picard season 1. I mean, that was kind of a shit show and a disaster, but
I
don't
like it.
don't judge Chabon on that. So, I mean, I got an opera of Cavalier and Clay coming this season. God, I hope it's in my subscription when I get my tickets. But any opera can be somebody's favorite opera, and I would recommend so many if you just give me a chance to talk about them. Why are we talking about an opera today?
That's our sponsor. So if you're bored with your genre of music or you just want to try something new, check out opera.
And I want to thank our good friend Allison Pregler, who gave me this book, Night at the Opera.
Woo!
So whenever I'm seeing a show, I look at this tome to see what this guy has to say about it, and I've enjoyed this very, very much. Thank you, Allison.
She is one of our best Canadian friends. Her and Brent. We love them.
So,
All right.
thank you, Opera.
While we were away, we got some messages. I'll just put them up real quick. The Omnipotent Willard. Let me give 20 seconds to these. The Omnipotent Willard says, I've thought about collecting those ducks, but I tend to go all out when collecting, as proven by my pop culture coffee. Exactly. Yes, I my Funko Pops is where I went way overboard. No, everything I go way overboard. Ooh, yeah. I can't. I'm still looking in the mail every day there, Chris. Okay. Don said, I'm saying. And the Omnipotent Willard, we could always do the Babylon 5 podcast in between the Treksploration podcast. There you go. I'm up for it. I have, speaking of my Canadian friend, I don't know if I told you about this. I have every episode of Babylon 5 on VHS, brand new, unopened. And I got it for my Canadian friend, but we're still trying to get it to him.
I'm
His name's
so,
Brent.
so sorry.
If you want to know about Brent, no, Babylon 5 is awesome. If you
No,
want to know
I'm
about Brent, go to
VHS.
Treksploration. Oh, they're good. He's got them on every format. So, and Don says, Big D Don says he's our rock.
He's talking about me when I said I wear gray and I'm just here to be, yeah, the
Ah,
steady
yes,
presence while you're
I
flitting
understand.
around doing all your cosplay stuff.
So I think that's all that out of the way. Thank you to our sponsor, Opera. And now, Chris, let's talk about coming of age. Your thoughts?
Oh, listen, I cannot imagine why Wesley Crusher became the whipping boy of TNG. This was a fantastic episode in many ways, but especially for the Wesley character. This gave Will a chance to shine, and I always just find Wesley so genuine. And I think that his earnestness is what appeals to me. And I feel like Sandy tapped into that to best effect. Like Wesley, in my opinion, anyway, in this episode, wasn't like cloying or needy. He was just like a kid going through stuff and trying to figure stuff out. And it also like played on the fact that he's got a leg up. He's gifted. He's a gifted kid, but he still manages to interact with everybody in a positive way. In many ways, that's very much Star Trek, right? You have the people who are on the bridge of that ship who are better than anybody you've ever met because of the meritocracy that is Starfleet, yet they're so relatable, they're so approachable. And I feel like we're seeing the genesis of all of those elements coming together in Wesley in this episode. And maybe that's a lot. I don't know, but I feel like maybe that's what Sandy was going for here, showing you where does the Picard come from? How do you become a Picard? It's like what elements do you need to embrace to make it in the fleet? And yeah, I just even the parts of this episode that I thought were not going to work on a second viewing or a third viewing are still interesting. But if we're talking about Wesley now, let's just stick with the Wesley stuff. What did you think?
I think mission accomplished by Sandy. He was given the task of writing an episode that humanized Wesley because that fan backlash had started at that point, and they wanted to do something about it. So he wrote this story so Wesley could be less perfect and more human and more relatable to everyone. And I think nailed it. I think it's the first beginnings of Wesley not being the super genius that only cares about teching the tech, but also talk about his father and losing his father. That humanizes him. Talk about insecurities of uh, girl trouble, or not necessarily trouble, but just girls in general, which is trouble. And and his psych test, and just the Picard and Wesley relationship really starts here. And I think before we get into Picard and other things like that, where we have relationships, familial relationships with, if I'm using that word right, with Picard, he really has this like father son relationship with Wesley, and I think it starts here and it ends at what is it, final mission?
Yeah, the one Picard's in the cave, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
And
the
there's the
sentient
one where with
Falcon.
the heart transplant, and they have that time in the shuttlecraft,
Mhm.
and like that whole arc begins here, and I really really love that about this episode.
You know, the funny thing is, before this, I didn't see Wesley as unapproachable. I just saw Wesley as a character that would fit in on a Federation ship in the
Mm,
sense that you do have to be the smartest person in the room. Like everybody is vying to be the
mhm.
smartest person in the room. And for him, it kind of comes naturally. Um, it doesn't make him unapproachable. I guess I understand the fan backlash, but again, I don't feel it. And this only enhances Wes's character for me. So, like you said, mission accomplished. But if this was a course correction, for those of us who already were okay with Wesley, this is just a blossoming.
Mhm.
So, I mean, either way, I think it's still just a nice study of a character who is as valid a character as anybody. What I don't understand is why is he in that stupid gray rainbow jumpsuit all the time? Did you see Jake's outfit in this?
No.
Jake
Yes.
Jake had that Scooby. It looked like it was a mid '60s modern. He had like the smoking jacket with the ascot, and he just looked so suave, like he was going to the Playboy. He was going to be in the grotto later,
Yeah.
after he stole that shuttle, and if he didn't crash into the planet, he was just gonna, And it's just like, why not dress this kid in something. They do address that a little bit later on in,
Eventually.
yeah, but it's just like they don't know how to. First it was the weird ugly sweaters, now they gave him the one outfit. It's like the Kira Nerys outfit. Oh, Kira's was a uniform, so we get that, but I mean, it's just,
I have a theory,
what's your theory? Yeah, I don't know,
and
I'm going on.
I haven't read
I'm
this
so
anywhere.
confused about Wesley's clothes,
I
that's
haven't
all.
read this anywhere, but I have a theory.
Okay.
And that's because he's just auditing, right? He's not an official. Well, I guess he's a acting ensign, but he doesn't know what he's going to pursue and what his career in Starfleet finally will be, if any. And the stripes are like the different colors of different divisions of Starfleet, a little
Are
bit,
they?
right?
Are they gold? Are they gold, red, and blue? I don't think
I
they
don't
are.
know.
I
There
think
might be
there's a
some
green in
green.
there. I don't know.
Well, there is some green medical slash
Yeah, but that's
something.
later on.
Yeah,
That's as you
but
get into
I'm
DS9.
thinking it's signifying like I don't know who I am yet, but I'm trying, and it's a little Starfleety. And I think they went all in on the sweater budget for this new look. They probably made 12 of them. I don't know. We'll have to talk to Will at some point. He
Yeah,
was just on the seventh rule, so there's hope for us eventually. But
maybe.
I
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. But I think it was like for action figure continuity and just identifying him on the small screen.
All right. Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't think of considerations like that
Mm-hmm.
because now we're in a age of giant TVs and everything. So I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
the backlash, I think for me at least, you're a few years older than me, but for me, he was my age basically, a couple years older, 3 years older maybe. But of course, you see yourself as that little bit older when you're watching it because you think you're more than you are at that point. And I'm just thinking of how I felt watching kids on Disco. I like the characters, but it was kind of like, okay, kid, figuring everything out. And like, you're not talking about our bridge crew that I like and all this stuff. So I think it's from like I'm saying, Tilly, instead, I would have rather Tilly do the things than the younger kids on Disco. But
let me stop you.
Sure.
What kids were on Disco? There was maybe
Um,
one episode.
the couple that was like one was a robot and one was a
Oh, you're talking
girl.
Madeira and Tal.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
no, they're just terrible characters.
right is how I kind of
Ugh.
felt at this age. Right. But if a kid their age probably thinks they're the best characters, growing up with them. So maybe I'm trying to understand the backlash a little, but I think either way, it's unnecessary and unfounded because Wesley was just the best.
Well, yeah, I gotta say, maybe there was like a generational difference. Listen, Linda says, yes, the stripes are red, gold, and blue. I never made that connection. Great analogy. I never made it either, Linda. So here we
Hey,
go.
I'm good for
On
something. Hooray,
This
I'm
is
useful.
this is the process of Treksploration. We're exploring, and
Treksploration
we just
of
discovered something new.
love.
So thank you, Linda.
That's what I think. Like he hasn't picked a major yet, so he's just
But
like auditioning.
I feel like Wesley is in that old Star Trek tradition of a character that, even if you're of that age, it's someone you want to aspire to be.
Mm.
He's smart. He might be a little goofy, but he's in it. Like he's in the ship. He's in the thick of it, and that's where you want to be.
Hmm.
And then you go to now, like this current generation, and you have someone like Tal,
Hmm.
or now she's a deer Tall, but she was just a deer before, and it's just like this floundering, stuttering, insecure mess. Who would you rather be? I understand, like, you're trying to make it relatable to a certain aspect of the audience, and we're all kind of floundering, stuttering,
Yeah, I'm the
insecure
floundering,
messes.
stuttering mess,
But I don't.
so I can
I
identify
want
with her
to.
more.
I want to see somebody on screen who is a little more
Right,
together
right,
that
right.
I can aspire to. I don't
Hmm.
want to see somebody on screen that just embodies all of my foibles. I want to look up to a Kirk. I want to look up to a Cisco. I want to be as badass as Kira. I don't want to identify with. And we're live. Yeah. So Adira. So I think again that's a distinct difference between the Berman Braga late Roddenberry 90s Trek
Braga Berman.
and this new Akiva Goldsman Trek, where everybody is just like too comical and too human and too, especially coming off watching BSG, where everything is so buttoned up and military and protocol. And I've said this a million times. The thing that annoys me most about New Trek is everybody's just a big happy family. And we had that also in 90s Trek, but there was also some kind of decorum. Now everybody's just space dad and best friends.
So they need to get off your lawn, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for stopping me short. Anyway, I will die on this hill, though. I will die on this lawn.
Will Wheaton is the best. Love him in everything. Loving him in Big Bang Theory. Every time he's on an episode, I go, squee.
He always plays a douche on Big Bang. I love it.
Yeah, at first at least, but then he goes kinder in later episodes. So I don't know where the arc goes. Don't spoil it, but I definitely want to see him on the new show if they're doing.
The arc goes to a warehouse where they have their top men on it.
Yeah, top men. They're not going to ever get it out. Well, actually, they might in 4. I don't know. Did 4 happen? 5? Maybe.
They find it again.
Yeah.
Susie Q writes, I can't believe I'm about to actually make a Star Trek comment. I always assumed that outfit was depicting the 3 uniform colors as in training. I honestly, Linda and me.
Great minds.
We never picked up on that, ever. So.
Well, I thought long and hard about it, and it came to me about 30 seconds ago. Came to me about 30 seconds ago. But it just makes sense to me. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Now I maybe have a new appreciation of it. Probably not.
Yeah, but it's not ugly sweater for ugly sweater's sake, But I think his best look for young Wesley Crusher, at least, not counting Prodigy spoilers, but I like what he looked like in the game when he came back from Starfleet Academy.
I'll have to comment on that when we watch it.
Yeah, that great episode. I'm on level 47.
Hamana.
All right, yeah, and so what do you think of the other part of this episode? The besides the Wesley Crusher stuff, the little bit of B story.
So I wanted to ask you about that because I know you interviewed Sandy about this, and I didn't get a chance to re-listen to the episode.
You should watch it. It's great. He has show and tells.
This whole thing where there's like a conspiracy in the Federation. I'm very intrigued by that, and at the end of watching this episode, like freshly for this show. The first time, I was thinking, while I enjoyed all of that stuff about Remmick grilling the bridge crew and everybody like really standing up for Picard in such a great way, I was thinking, in the end, nothing really comes of this stuff. So when you do a rewatch, is this just going to be tedious? Like they're solving a mystery that you already know the answer to. It didn't happen. I rewatched it yesterday. We thought we were going yesterday, so I rewatched it yesterday. And I found this part of the episode as intriguing again as the Wesley stuff. And I think it all comes down to the character work, because it's not so much Remmick's interrogation, but it's how everybody reacts to it. And everybody gets a little chance to shine. So bravo to Sandy for taking something that I want to ask you when you give me your opinion, but I have bigger questions about this whole thing. Taking something that could be sort of a thankless task and turning it into an opportunity. And I especially loved Beverly's responses in this, and her little sojourn with Remmick and him asking her stuff, and she's just like, yeah, go scratch, pal.
Yep.
What did you think of that part of the episode?
I remember, and I'm gonna repeat myself if you've seen the 2.5 hour me and Sandy Freeze special, but that's unavoidable. I really enjoyed that part, and as a kid, I really hated Remmick. Like, he really ground my gears. And, effectively, which was the point of the whole thing. But so much to when later on he meets his demise, I was like, yes, even though it's grossed out. But I don't know if you've seen that one.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. But it really made me hate him. And then it made me like almost offended when at the end he was like, I'd love to serve here, after my next thing is up or whatever.
All right. I loved that actually
Hmm.
because I felt like he was a guy forced to do his job and he did his job to the best of his ability.
Hmm.
And he was just like, look, Admiral, I'm sorry. I know you tasked me with finding whatever nebulous
Hmm.
non thing is happening here, but I could not find anything. Also, he's awesome. This ship is awesome. Can
Hmm.
I please serve here? And I love just the look Picard gives.
Like, really?
Like,
After
you know
all
what?
this?
He's like, and we're gonna get the F bomb, but he's like, go fuck yourself, and we're live.
We're live. Not being monetized. All right.
All right.
Now, who played the Admiral? I'm looking for the
Admiral
cast list
Gregory
here.
Quinn was Ward Costello.
Ward Costello. He gave me very much a Gene Roddenberry vibe.
You think? Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess so. I hadn't thought about it, but I want to I want to ask. This is probably on the interview with Sandy. The whole conspiracy leading up to, like, I think they were building this. It was like, and you said the beginning of serialization, the beginning of
Really
doing
was.
maybe a longer form story.
Mhm.
Was the conspiracy part of this thrust upon him so that they could get it going, or was it an organic part of the script that he pitched? Do we remember that?
I think we talked about it in the thing, and I think it was one of those things that they asked him to do.
Gotcha. Because it seems to me like I know, and we've said this before about Next Gen, especially season one. These are two different episodes, slapped together.
Mhm.
But it was it the inclusion of the character, was it Jake or Jack, the troubled teen?
Jake.
Jake,
Jake.
the troubled teen, helped bring a lot of it together. So like using Jake to connect the two different aspects of the story made it seem a little less forced, and it gave Picard a chance to shine. It gave Wesley a chance to be like a good dude. He's like, I'm sorry, like Jake is obviously like years older than him,
Mhm.
and he's still washed out to this wonderkind. And it's almost like Sandy saying, yeah, we all hate Wesley, don't we? Because everything just comes so easily. Even
Mhm.
Alana is just like, you are the worst if you weren't
Mhm.
so cute. um I think that it's almost like he embraced what the fans were saying about Wesley and said, yeah, okay, it's all of that, but still a solid dude,
Yeah.
you know? Um, that was I guess my other question. You said he was given the task of humanizing Wesley, but again, what was the original pitch? I guess we should all go back and listen
It
to that
was
episode.
Wesley Crusher tries to get into Starfleet.
Gotcha.
Uh,
So they use that as entree to
yeah.
say, hey, why don't we flesh out this character a little bit?
I know you're a writer, so you might get into this watching the show. But a little teaser is he always wrote his episodes like with a pen, ballpoint pen on like a legal pad or something. Like that's how he wrote his scripts, and that's what went up for auction the year 2 years ago. For that auction that we were talking about during that, it was the original handwritten script of Coming of Age.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that was his original task. The Wesley tries to get into Starfleet.
All right. So they had Wesley tries to get in Starfleet, but then they put, okay, so we're going to tack this on. Make Wesley likable.
Hmm.
Well, not impossible task for someone in season one.
At the time,
Yeah,
probably, yeah.
at the time. Yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, look, I'm on Team West.
Hmm.
Um, also, put in this whole conspiracy thing where we have to allude to it, but we say almost nothing about what it's about. It's just the Admiral being mysterious. And he's saying, I can't tell if it's from without. I can't tell if it's from within, but I need people I can trust. Oh, by the way, and this is weird. You have to be the commandant of the academy all of a sudden. It's like,
It, tur-
how does that serve anybody?
it turned out that he was the Mighty Quinn.
Yep, come on with it.
Uh,
Come
so
on. You think he did that
uh,
on purpose?
maybe. um, I th- I think Well, I like Sandy's writing, and we're talking about Little Miracle, where he humanizes. Oh, what's his character's name? We've seen that episode
Charles
22
Rocket.
times. Charles Rocket's character. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. Blake.
but
Blake.
Blake, yeah, that when Blake has that moment of like humanization towards the
Mickey
end,
Blutowski.
and you feel those feels.
Yeah.
Those are the feels I'm feeling with Wesley Crusher, but different. So he's really good at connecting the audience with the character, I think. And that's Wesley's connections, I think, began there for people that might not have been already fanboying him like me.
I guess. I mean, like I said, to me, it serves the character even more because his character I already liked, at the risk of repeating myself. But I don't know that it would have been as effective without a writer like Sandy behind it because you can have a task and you can say, pull this off. And you can write something, but it might not resonate. I feel like Sandy found the sweet spots of the characters where you could relate to what they're going through, and it turns into a compelling character drama versus a rote, a soft reboot, whatever. Like, do you want to really get to know these characters and ground it in what we already know and expand it, or do you just want to say all of a sudden this character is like this or this character is like that? And once again, I felt like he took them from where they were and made them a lot more human, a lot more
Hmm.
solid. Again, the beginnings of what next gen would become. And I feel like what Wesley could have become had that character been able to flourish beyond what season 3. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that Will had his problems with the staff. I've listened to a lot of interviews of his.
Yeah.
If
Basically,
you
they were trying to
Yeah.
keep him without letting him also express his art in other ways.
Yeah, right. So I mean, listen to Inside of You with
Mhm.
Michael Rosenbaum.
Which we interviewed. He's
Yeah,
awesome.
we did.
Yeah, I did.
Awesome. That he played Lex on
Yeah.
Smallville.
Yep.
And yeah, and he was also in Guardians of the Galaxy, I think,
Yeah.
2, right? Or 3.
I'll go with
I'm not
it.
sure.
Sounds
Yeah.
good to me.
No, he was. And his podcast is amazing, but he talks
Yeah.
to Will and they talk about being child actors at the time. And
Hmm.
Will talks about a lot of stuff that happened on Star Trek and that. So I would say once you're done watching us here, go and listen to that one. It's fantastic. And I gotta say, I used to like make fun of Will, not Wesley, Will, like what was the after show?
Which one? Oh,
The new one, the new after show. Why am I blanking on it?
Ready Room.
Ready Room. It's just like I've had a problem with his presentation on that show. I've said it on Sean's show. I mean, dude has one speed and it's gush.
I
And
love
it's
it
just
though.
like, but I don't. It's just like, okay, it's too forced. It's
Hmm.
too this, it's too that. But then I heard him on Rosenbaum's podcast, and I was just like, all of a sudden, now I'm not just Team West, I'm Team Will.
Yeah.
So I feel bad for having, done the shit talk about him because I feel like he is just such a genuine guy.
Mm.
At the same time, it's fine. He's fine as a host. I
Hmm.
think we're better hosts, but hey,
Oh, I don't
but
think
who am
I'm
I?
better. No, I'm not worthy of Will Wheaton. That's how
Yeah,
I feel.
well,
But
I don't know. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't
But
know. I mean,
I
hot
love
take.
his.
Hot
I,
take. I
I
think
love
I'm
his
a better
joy.
host than Will Wheaton.
I love his joy and his enthusiasm, and he like again is the window of us into that audience. Like if I was sitting there in front of the cast of whatever new Star Trek coming out, I would be much more fanboying than he was. So just saying.
Yeah, it's a little much. The fanboying is a little much.
But hey, his acting is amazing too. Because did you know in this episode he was really sick?
I didn't know.
Really sick. He would do his take, and you wouldn't be able to tell, and then he'd go back to like laying down, sweating to death, dying
He did
of
sound a
something.
little nasally in a couple of passages. So
Did he? I
yeah,
didn't. I never caught that. But yeah,
in a bit.
Sandy was worried he was going to ruin the episode from being sick, and they went along with it anyway. But he said, "Nope, absolute professional. You would never know." So
So Stacy's also defending my recent F bomb. She said, "Occasional F bomb is allowed as long as it's not gratuitous. We swear on our channel a lot." I think it's just we're trying to keep the YouTube viewers.
Yeah. It just I'm not sure because like I watch a lot of YouTube channels that seem to be monetized and they're swearing up and down, but you have to like promise swear and hold your right hand while you've got your other hand on some kind of book, and say you're not using any profanity to get monetized. So I don't understand any of it.
Listen, I mean, profanity has its place, but gratuitous profanity. Am I guilty of it sometimes? Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe,
I don't know.
maybe.
But,
Um, I like the beginning of the conspiracy storyline because again, it's the first time you're really starting serialization in Star Trek. And I think there was no other way to do it than what they did because it made what was going on seem more menacing, more important than if they just offhand mentioned it or they just had a little conversation about it.
do you think this was them at the time? They realize now we're in the middle of season one, and this has actually taken off. It's a hit. So they're kind of feeling or sowing their oats. They're feeling the success. So now maybe we can introduce more long form stuff. We can, or was this a kernel that they always plan to introduce like right mid season? I don't know. I
I
mean,
don't know.
yeah, because they could have just gone on with episode of the week a la TOS,
Hmm.
but it's almost like you're seeing the transition between the 60s and the 90s. You're seeing the transition from Star Trek Phase 2 to like
Hmm.
literal next generation where it
Hmm.
embodies this entire different dynamic of storytelling that blossomed in 90s first run syndication, you know? Uh, go me 'em.
We got to dance like the
Buy 'em.
beginning of Blossom. This can go on our TikTok. There we go.
What are you, Trump?
Well, I gotta mark that to bleep that out. Okay. Um, uh, I really like the beginning of it, and to me, it doesn't really. Well, they went for it in conspiracy. We'll get to it when we get to it, but not my favorite thing. But I like the beginning of it.
Do you think so? I mean, this might be somewhat spoilery, but we'll get there, and I'm sure everybody's seen
That's something
season
on the
one.
back of my neck. I don't know what that
Right,
is.
right. Do you think that this Remick is that Remick? I feel like we're seeing the real Remick here. I feel like when we get back to him,
Yeah, when he's back,
he's been
no,
co-op. I feel like somewhere between there and here. It's not the same guy.
he's evil. Evil Trill or something.
Yeah.
Evil neck Trill.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you say that, but yeah, we'll talk about it when we
Yeah,
get to.
the reason he gave him the name Remick is because it has ick in the name, so it makes you automatically be like,
Ick. Oof.
yeah, interesting writing different things. You probably know this stuff. I learn as I go.
Yeah,
Uh,
I didn't make the connection. It's so it's very subconscious.
yeah, and it works because nobody liked that guy. I remember watching. I think it was one shot, and it was like Picard, Remick, and Gregory Quinn, and I'm like, I wonder why chicks aren't digging this show back in 1988, and it's just three old bald guys. Picard wasn't the sexiest man alive at the time yet. I'm like, no Rogaine,
Was
I
this
guess.
the first Riker maneuver? I feel like it
I want to
was.
say, yeah, that definitely the first forceful Riker
I
maneuver.
mean, I did read that this was the first time on TNG that we saw a Vulcan. It was the first time on TNG that we saw a shuttle.
The
Um,
shuttle was built for this episode.
right.
The Okudas, Mike Okuda asked Sandy to put it in the script, a shuttle scene, so they could build the shuttle. Actually, so so he was given a lot of, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? And he put it all together, and he did it.
Yeah, it's called being talented.
Yeah. So, but that's how they got the shuttle. I forget how much Sandy said it cost, but it was a lot, and it was on a
But
gimbal.
I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah.
I had some trepidation because I know that you and Sandy have a relationship. I know that
Yeah.
we've spoken
Not
to
as
him,
close as I'd like, but
but I
he
know
lives
we've
far
spoken
away.
to him about this. We've
Long
spoken to him
distance stuff never works.
about quantum leap,
Yep.
and
Yep.
um, I was really afraid that I would have a lot more negative to say
Mhm.
about this episode, but we're really not kissing up to Sandy. I just genuinely think this is a well-crafted, solid episode of TNG. I think it's
I'm
one of the
glad.
standouts of season one.
I'm glad because I
Um,
would have been like, "What you talking about, Willis? You messing with my friend?" That'd be like somebody talking about foreknowledge bad, not in front of me.
well, I don't know. We reread Foreknowledge. There are sections of it where I'm like, what was I thinking? But anyway.
You gotta love mud wrestlers. That's my favorite part.
Willard
Anyway,
writes, I
that in
may
the
be
ending.
wrong, but didn't we see a Vulcan during the ship separation in the pilot?
Maybe, but not
I
like
don't
a
know.
on-camera voice. Not a background person. Maybe.
I think I read the first shuttle, first Vulcan on at another source, so
Yeah,
I
but it
put
was
it to
definitely
run
a first
down
shuttle.
just to talk about it.
Definitely the first shuttle. What did you think of the other kids trying to get in? I definitely liked Elena Moran, played by Esty Chandler. She was she's been in a bunch of stuff, but most notably for me anyway, besides this episode, was she was the girlfriend in Teen Wolf 2.
So that was the Jason Bateman Teen Wolf,
Jason
not the
Bateman,
Michael
yeah.
J. Fox Teen Wolf.
No, but yeah.
So I saw her before I saw her in this because I watched Teen Wolf 2 a million times.
Hmm.
Back, when it came out on
I got the
VHS.
2-pack on the DVD.
So, I mean, I haven't seen it in 30,
I
35
tried to
years.
find mine. It's somewhere.
But yeah, no, I always like Jason Bateman and
Yeah,
Teen Wolf 2 was basketball again, right? They were both basketball movies, I think.
yeah,
But
I
yeah.
think so.
But yeah, I didn't realize it was her, but so I guess I like
No,
her
me
in
neither.
that.
Not until I looked her up just recently. She's
But
very interesting.
But I say, I mean, again, this could have been like a monumental failure in the sense of having a
Hmm.
bunch of like dumb, precocious kids. Is this a backdoor pilot to a Starfleet Academy? Like, what are we watching here? But every one of the candidates that Wesley meets is relatable and likable. I mean, the Vulcan is, of course, to Shannik or whatever her name was,
Yeah, I couldn't pronounce it.
but she was subdued, but. Oleana and the dude who played
Murdoch.
Mordock, they were fantastic. I thought they were really
Yeah.
good. They had very little to do, but every interaction was interesting.
Hmm.
And I feel like if you want to humanize Wes, Oleana was really the surrogate for the audience, saying, it comes so easy. You are such a douche, but you're not a douche. It's
I,
just like, but I want to hate you, but I can't. And I feel like that is the stand-in for those of us watching and struggling with the West character.
mhm. I thought you were saying she was a stand-in for us because we were all crushing on Wesley.
Maybe that too. I don't know.
She said it comes easy for you, and she wasn't doing so good on the warp core ratios,
Hmm.
the which you would think that's obviously 1-to-1, right?
Yeah, obviously. Duh.
But she was also very confident the way she spoke with Wesley and telling him that he's cute and things. But I was so happy that you got the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer
Yeah.
reference right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
That-
I
I
mean, come
think of
on.
it every time. I'm
I
cute.
couldn't. She thinks I'm cute.
Exactly. Why did his nose not light up? I don't
Right,
know.
right. They knocked that fake nose right off his face.
Yeah, Murdoch is really cool, and we see the species come back again, and it's the same actor but a different character because they were trying to get out of paying Sandy.
All right, so yeah, you have to tell me about this because
Mhm.
this is the assumption I have, and I know I probably heard it, and I've discussed this on Sean's Star Trek podcast, and we've come to conclusions without any basis in reality. But you spoke to Sandy. You recently rewatched the interview. I would always assume that no matter
Mhm.
what you write for Star Trek, it belongs to Star Trek. Like you're
Mhm.
basically writing for that franchise, and whatever you create becomes property of that franchise. So they could bring Murdoch back. They can bring anything back that they want to because it becomes their IP.
Mhm.
Is that the truth, or because I've
Yes, but
heard
they have to
that
pay the guy.
they
They
have
got
to
to pay
pay?
Sandy.
So it's his IP.
Yeah, well, the character, I guess in the contract, from what I understand, I could be wrong, but in the contracts at the time, if they reuse a character that one of the writers makes, they get a character payment or something per episode. That's why Nick Locarno became Tom Paris, even though it was really Nick Locarno. So the person who wrote Nick Locarno wouldn't get paid for every single episode of Voyager, but they could still use Robert Duncan McNeil.
Okay, so it's just like TV people being shitty to write off.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
when has that ever happened in the history of Hollywood? Ah,
They're always trying to get out of doing that. But so they had the makeup, so they brought the same actor back because they already had the makeup, already molded to his face and everything.
and it was solid dude, solid
Yeah.
actor. I mean,
And
we got the name here somewhere on
John
the
Putch.
John Putch.
And yeah, great actor, great casting in that. And but I think they explained it off where he was like of the same genetic pod or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, they were basically like clones.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
little doing Sandy dirty, but I think eventually they made up for it with the action figures and stuff.
Oh, really? Okay, so he gets a piece
Yeah.
of that too.
Gets a piece of every action, all the Fizbin. Oh, and of course, at the time, the one guy I popped for, I was a big Quincy fan. I don't know why. I was like, what was I, 9, 10, 11?
Jack Klugman, Quincy.
Yeah. I don't know why I was 11 watching a show about a mortician, right? But I was like,
No, he was
that's
an
the guy from
ME.
Quincy. I don't know. It's always cutting up dead people while you're eating dinner. It's kind of weird. But yeah, he played Lieutenant Chang. Robert Ito. Yeah, I knew him best at the time out of anybody because he was from Quincy, and I loved Quincy. And I watched Quincy because I like Jack Klugman because I watched The Odd Couple. So da.
Right, gotcha. No, we watched that couple, but yeah, if it was a comedy, I would watch it. If it was, oh yeah, that's Oscar, but it's a different show.
But he's cutting up
know.
dead people.
Yeah, so it's like I could make that separation as a kid. So
Yeah, but it was cool that I recognized him, so that was cool.
I like Oscar in this. I don't want to watch Oscar in that.
Now, what he should have done is like pick up sandwiches out of the corpse and eat them. Maybe see that somewhere. I think that was what
dirty socks.
I was going to say Scrubs, but I think it's more. What is that? Psych. Wasn't the mortician in Psych?
Yeah, I never watched Psych, so I don't know.
You never watched Psych?
Nope, sorry.
Wow, you have another binge to do. They got whole series and I think 3 movies now, something like that.
Wow,
Great.
6 seasons in a movie. Here we
Yep,
go.
sounds great, and it was really good. It was really good. And there's a hot chick, so it's worth it.
Isn't there always?
Isn't there always? There should be. Who else was in the episode? Stephen Gregory as Jake. Jake was okay. Jake played Jake effectively.
Yeah, I like Jake's character. I mean, again, another surrogate for us. I mean, we're all not so perfect. So I think Oleana and Jake were really, again, if you're going to humanize Wesley, Wesley can't all of a sudden be dumber or more insecure. You need to surround him with people who play off his brilliance, the aspects that annoy people about him, and have him not be a dick about it.
Right.
I feel like that's again a better way to approach this without doing a quote soft reboot of the character. The character's still the character. It's just how we're approaching how we relate to this character. And if Jake can do it and Oleana can do it, then maybe we can do it too.
And what did you think of like the Bad News Bears type scenario where like you're going into this hoping Wesley gets into Starfleet and he fails. He does not get into Starfleet Academy. What do you think about that?
I liked that because again, it humanizes Wes in the sense that you expect him to get into the academy.
Yeah.
But it makes sense on 2 levels. Again, the character level is just like the fact that he doesn't get in is the most blatant, hey, you can relate to him because he's not perfect. Look, he didn't get in. But also pull back. I mean, this is one of the main members of the ensemble cast, especially in season 1. He's not going anywhere.
No.
So, but I think it's so you can suspend your disbelief thinking that he will get in because he should get in because he's Wesley. But they give it the whole Murdoch switcheroo, which is good. And the fact that Wesley helped Murdoch again makes him more approachable, more humanized because he's not in it to win it. He's just in it to be a good guy. And no matter what, whether he gets in, whether Murdoch gets in, he's going to help a crewman. I feel like that might be. I never even thought of this, but that aspect should have cinched his position in the academy.
Hmm.
He should have won just because of that. Because it's not about you. It's about supporting your crew.
Hmm.
And he showed a remarkable, I guess, fortitude of like he's not insecure where he has to win.
Right.
He's
He's not
just
hogging
like,
the ball.
yeah, yeah. It's just like we're all in it together. Oh, you need do this, this, and this. We're all in it, you know. And if you're on a starship, you need people like that. You don't need someone that's going to be like me, and just my way. Although Jellicoe is
Hmm.
awesome, so.
We'll talk. When we get, not a fan of Ronnie Cox, not all the time, but sometimes.
Gotcha.
But that's because he's so good at what he does. But
Right.
anyway, to me, Wesley kind of they gave him the moral victory, kind of like in wrestling when a guy gets a pin but the referee's knocked out because we're like over there looking. Is it our time yet? No. Okay, I'm still down here. So he got the 3 count. He won because he knew what he was doing and he helped Mordok. But Mordok actually got the best time. So
Gotcha.
it showed you that he wasn't incompetent. It showed you that he was capable of winning, but he just didn't happen to win, which was perfect, I think, for that time in his arc.
Yeah. So could we gush any more over what went on in this episode?
Um,
I think we probably
man,
could.
we probably could. Let's the other 2 things I want to talk about. Basically, I don't know what you got left, but the psych test. I was really
Yeah.
psyched out myself when I was a kid because I still, it's like, did it happen? Did it not happen? Of course, it was just part of the test, but like going into it, it always feels kind of real, even though for a second you're like, no, this is the test, obviously, but then you're like, I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I feel like had I not seen Wrath of Khan,
Ah, yes, it was definitely a
it
Rathacon type
might
thing.
have been a little bit more surprising, but
Hmm.
I feel like this is something we've seen on Trek before. I still
Hmm.
think it was effective because you're really in Wesley's headspace here, and you really are trying to figure out, okay, what are they going to give him? And maybe this goes back to the wharf scene, which I loved because I feel like this is the first time we've seen Worf really explored in any way besides being a growling presence back behind the
Hmm.
horseshoe.
Hmm.
And he tells Wesley that worrying about things that you can't control creates its own problems. That you know, and I feel that way. I worry all the time. Like I wake up worried. I wake up sometimes heart palpitating, thinking, "Who's calling in today? Who's doing this? Who's doing that?"
Same, but mine is about the future. So.
Okay, so I get it. So I have anxiety too about like different things that are part of my job that I just can't control. But
Hmm.
I'm just always like worried that I'm going to have to reinvent the wheel and put out fires every morning. Like this week especially, I've had to do it every morning this week. I've
Hmm.
had, 3 or 4 weeks of just nothing going on. It's fine. It's great. But um when Worf says that to Wesley, it speaks to me. And I think it speaks to a lot of us. Just like don't like I guess don't sweat the small stuff or
Hmm.
know what it is that you can control and take care of that because everything else is out of your hands and it makes no sense to worry about it, but it's still hard to do because you're not worried. I feel like for me anyway, I'm worried that I'm going to have to fix something, and if that shoe doesn't drop, I feel relieved, but I'm just always expecting that other shoe to drop, and I'm just like, I can't relax.
The weight of the world.
Yeah, and it's just like, and it's up to me. Like if something
Hmm.
goes south at 6:30 in the morning, I got to figure out how everything's going to be in place at 9 so that it's business as usual. So,
And and
yeah,
at that same time, Albie's texting you, look what I 3D printed.
yeah, and it's just like I've asked you, don't don't text me between 6:30 a.m. and 9 a.m.
Yeah, I don't
because
know.
yeah, please.
Only like when I feel like you're driving home from work do
Right,
I
because
text
I
you.
feel like if my phone goes off at any time,
Mhm.
those times, it's just like instant
Yeah.
stress, you know? But anyway,
And what
and
are you gonna
again,
do? Laura, he's printing out another robot. Yeah.
and I'm making this very much about Chris
The
because, I'm
Serenity
really good
Prayer.
at making it very much about Chris. But that scene with Worf and West in the
When
holodeck,
it's really about me.
right, right, it's really about you. But that scene spoke to me.
It's It's interesting that you mentioned that. I don't know if you remember, they didn't really celebrate Star Trek Day this past year, but the year before they did like the whatever how many years of Star Trek? What are we, 65 years now, something? Um 110.
127
But
years of
that was
Star
one of the
Trek.
clips they used from TNG. Was Worf saying something like "Only a fool has no fear" or something? But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good scene. It's a good episode all around. If I could critique it, and like Monday morning quarterback the episode 30 years later, 40 years later, whatever it is. Um, I think I would have fell for it more had like a false start to a different psych test start, like something that looked like it was
Right.
this psych test in that room other than just the empty room, and that had started, and then there was an explosion outside.
Yeah. Yep.
So like a false start. I don't know,
But
but
they would have had to pay another actor, which
another
they were.
actor and another action figure and
Maybe, but
another
maybe
royalty check.
maybe Lieutenant Chang could have done it too.
Maybe. Oh yeah, maybe they could have used the guy with the webbing on his hand, which is the reference they use later on in Lower Decks, if you remember. But it's a great episode. I think if it would aired later in the seasons where they used the holodeck more, maybe like at the end of the simulation, it would have just been a holodeck instead of just a whole separate room set up like Fantasy Island style, just for his particular psych test.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I didn't even consider that because now, if you're talking about something that bumped me from the
Yeah.
episode, it was the holodeck in HD. It's just a black paint with bad yellow tape, and it looks so cheap. It looked so, and when I used to, I would always in my mind's eye it's these
That's
glowing
an episode.
lines. I would say growing, glowing, but I would because the grid. It
Hmm.
was just like this grid of possibility that could generate anything you wanted. But they have this particular angle where the light is shining on the floor, and you just see that this is just tape on plywood, and it just does not hold up.
To me, it looked like this stuff, just painted bright iridescent yellow on like a black velvet wall, but it definitely looked like it was made. It didn't look like it was a hollow grid. So it's making me think for the other side of my space station, maybe I install a hollow grid.
Maybe just give some like LED lights, like make it Tron like, is what I'm thinking,
I
right?
could do that. I could do
Yeah.
that.
No.
But yeah, I did like that, but it definitely reminiscent of Star Trek 2, but in a good
Um.
way. With the simulation
Oh
and
yeah, 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 yeah. Aren't you dead?
the but um, I think the best part of it for me was it kind of gave us an insight into yes, Picard. I don't know if did we know before that Picard was responsible for not saving Jack Crusher, his father, or do we find out here?
I'm not really sure. I just know Wesley said he brought my
My
father's body
father's body home. That was an
back
encounter
home,
at Farpoint.
and
Yeah,
I I can't remember because in my mind I've always known that it was
yeah.
Picard and Jack, so I've never really traced how they approach it in season one. I guess maybe we have to rewatch from Encounter at Farpoint again just to see.
Let's do it.
Or
Let's
we could
start
count
over.
on somebody to tell us right down below in the
Yeah.
comments, you know.
But the question I came up with was Jack Crusher. Well, in this psych test, the person that Wesley didn't save could have saved himself. He was just too scared
Mm.
to act. Is that what happened with Jack Crusher? Did Picard save the person who couldn't save themselves, and Jack could have saved himself but didn't? I don't know. I want to see more on that
I mean, yeah,
story.
that's, I guess, does that speak poorly of Jack?
Yeah, in a way, which also humanizes the whole situation more because it's
Hmm.
not hero dad that died in battle and hero son that's perfect at everything. It's just humanizing everyone.
Interesting point. I never considered that the cowering fool would be the Jack surrogate.
Mhm.
Or is there, I never even considered that there would be a Jack surrogate per se. It's just a similar situation, you know?
It could be a similar situation, or they could have just dug into his profile to see what really is bothering him.
You know, I
And
never even thought about this until now.
that's what this show's for.
But they're
We're
talking
exploring Star Trek.
but they're talking about the psych test, I love the scene at the end between Picard and Wes when Wes is like, "I failed you," and I found Picard is like, "No, you're just really competing with yourself." And here's something: I failed my first time as well. You, Captain Picard. I feel like that scene would have been so much better because we're coming off this psych test thing. Captain Picard, tell me about my dad.
Yeah.
How did he die? Like,
Chills.
please, just tell me what happened. Um, I'm old enough now, right? You always say, "I'll tell you when you're older." You know what? I'm
Yep.
older. I think that that would have been an amazing character turn. And maybe Sandy wanted to do it and they wouldn't let him. Maybe it didn't occur to him. Maybe they just had this rope thing because it was about Wesley's trials and triumphs. So Picard also helps humanize him because look at this: the great Picard also failed. So I'm suddenly hearing myself on
Even
the
if
bridge.
they didn't, even if they didn't go into that, even the starting of the conversation, kind of like at the end of yesterday's Enterprise, when somebody said, "Tell me about Tasha,"
Yeah, yeah,
something like that. But you just gave me chills.
that was
You really did.
Guinan asked Geordi.
Yeah, that's what it was. And Jordy was still wearing the Mirror Universe uniform.
Right.
All right, I'll fix the technical difficulties in post. That's no
Thank
problem.
you.
As long as we keep going. So what did you think of the ending of the episode? I particularly liked, uh, besides the part with Wesley, that he really didn't. He wasn't really angry at Jake. He was very understanding and very like, okay, well, moving on, kind of thing, which I really liked about him.
You're talking about Picard and Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, it's Picard's job to relate to everybody on that ship. And he's not good with children, but Jake is someone who's been in his orbit this episode, so he's going to deal with it in a professional manner,
Hmm.
in a responsible manner, not like poor Charlie Evans on the original Enterprise where he was just everybody else's problem until, the space aliens conveniently took him away. I still get like so sad for Charlie at the end of that episode because everybody on that ship failed him. And you think that Picard would just say, "Jake, go talk to Troy." But no, he actually takes responsibility for talking to the kid and giving the kid some kind of context, aside from saving his life. But I
Yeah.
also love the fact they didn't coddle him. He's like, "Thank you for saving me." And he's like, "Asshole, that's my job. That's why I'm here." You
I think
know?
that's a direct quote.
Yeah. But it's just like he's also again that sense of decorum, that sense of hierarchy, which is very important on a starship.
Hmm.
Um, and it makes Picard Picard. In but still humanizes him. He's not just that stodgy guy that doesn't want children on the bridge.
Hmm.
And again, is this the first time we've seen Picard really relate to somebody? I guess maybe besides Wes. Like he's softened towards Wes at this point, but it's just nice to see him interact with somebody besides the bridge crew.
I really feel this is the beginning of humanizing the characters that we've grown to love.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
So
wow, we got a lot out of a season one episode again.
again, season one is not the shit show that everybody thinks it is.
That should be on the poster.
It has an undeserved reputation. So
Yeah.
yeah. I
Bad
don't know.
reputation. Okay, what's next, my friend?
What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? You should go see our interview with Sandy if you want to see more about this. It's on the
Definitely.
YouTube channel.
Up in the corner here, if you're on the right platform.
Right, like, yeah, Albie will put all that stuff up, so it's somewhere. It's somewhere
Yep.
over here.
Link
Okay.
below. It's in linked on everything we got.
What is your episode crush?
My episode crush. Now that I put these on and I can't see. Okay.
Can't see.
I am gonna go. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the character of Olena Marin, played by Esty Chandler. Man, was I crushing on her hard.
So
She was 24 at the time. I was 14. Probably wouldn't have happened, but man, wow.
could happen now. You kind of caught up with her.
Yeah, I caught up with her. Hey. Okay.
Hey.
Who's your crush? Who is your crush?
My crush is Jake's outfit. I just love his Scooby clothes in this. I mean,
It's somewhere, just like Charlie X's playing cards. Jake's outfit is somewhere.
you know, I mean, Charlie X. They gave him Gary Mitchell's old shirt without the Delta, without the mission patch.
You notice that too, right?
Yeah, yeah. It was just and then he had a wraparound beige tunic as well, which Kirk couldn't wear. But yeah, no, I mean, I loved his whole ensemble with the V and the ascot, and again, it was just so mid '60s. That should have made a reappearance in the DS9 episode Our Man Bashir. Is all I'm saying. Instead of the turtleneck, Garrick should have been wearing Jake's outfit.
What's the difference between an ascot and a dickie?
I want to keep a family rating on the show, so.
When I hear ascot, I'm thinking like that handkerchief around Fred's neck on Scooby Doo. Is that right?
Yeah, but ascot's more like a morning tie. But I guess you could call the
Morning tie.
No, if
I'm so far removed from culture.
If you're going to like a daytime wedding, like a morning wedding, you wear the ascot. If you're going to an evening wedding, you wear the tie or the bow tie.
Okay, I'm picturing it now.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of this episode?
All the Wesley stuff, and honestly, like just all the character work, all of the solid character work. How about yourself?
Character work, Wesley stuff, the I'm cute, the missing his dad, just everything about the writing of this episode, and it shows you how important the writing is.
Yeah, and if I had to pick among all of that character stuff, it's definitely the scene in the holodeck between Wesley and Worf.
Yeah, it's really good. Yep, we are almost ready for calls in. Not to somebody has their show sheet and is looking around with us. No 47s. I'm sure there's a 47 in there somewhere, but
yeah, I don't know.
I was too concentrated on the work. Okay, if anybody wants to call in, now is the time. We got 5 minutes for anybody who wants to call.
Yeah, not too long.
Right.
I'm trying to keep these shows shorter.
Trying to keep it under 2 hours. So
I think it's
5
already too
minutes
late
is a
for
good
that.
time.
We have 5 minutes to 2 hours. So.
Well, after I edit it out and post, the breaks and stuff like that. So yeah, my favorite part of the episode was just all the character work, the writing, the humanizing, the making each character more 3D. Really enjoyed that. And of course the cute girl. And didn't really care about the adventure of the shuttle really much, but they got to put some kind of danger in there. And the beginning of conspiracy.
It gives Picard a chance to shine. And I think that I wish that they would. Well, we'll talk about it when it comes to that episode.
Yeah.
But
it sets up conspiracy. That wouldn't be as good without this, I think.
Yeah, and it's laying groundwork for something that never really came to fruition, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I think like what might have been, right?
Yeah, I think I was season 3 of Picard or whatever when something was coming. I was hoping it was those little things. Because of it, they like tee it up, but we'll talk about that more.
Yeah, again, we have a whole episode to go on that one.
So. Yeah, that's not too far away, is it?
I guess not. I mean, we're
already,
what, episode 15 now, 19?
19. So 19, what do they have? 26?
26, yeah.
All right, I'm going to switch glasses, because I think it's time for me to read you a trivia question before we take a call.
Please.
All right. I got you for 3 questions.
The German 3.
And if you're following along at home, these are Star Trek questions. So try to answer them before Chris does.
Star what?
So take a beat before you answer it, Chris, just to give people a chance at home. What? And you don't have to say who is or what is, but you can do it. Okay. To avoid question number 1. Got you for 3. This is 1. Okay. To avoid harming the fabric of space, what speed limit does the Federation Council set in the Next Generation episode Force of Nature?
I don't know, but I'm going to say warp 9.9.
That's the real one, but no. They set it at warp 5.
Oh, okay. Well, then everybody's NX-01. I mean, that's
there you go. Exactly.
First warp 5 ship.
First warp 5. Maybe that's why they did that. A little homage to a series that hadn't happened yet. Okay. Question number 2. I'm going to try to 3D print that. Is it okay to send you pictures of my 3D print of that? Question number 2. Play along at home. Who got that right? Let us know below in the comments below. In the Voyager episode Scorpion, Part 2, Part 2, how does the Doctor cure Harry Kim from an infection of alien cells?
An infection of alien what now?
Did we do this one already?
No.
Cells. Did we do this one already?
No, we haven't. No.
Okay.
How does
Okay.
he uses transporter magic?
Wow.
His old pattern in the pattern buffer, and they just recreated him from that before he had the infection. Yes?
So you're saying they did a Pulaski. You're so close using Borg nanoprobes. I would just answer that for everything on Voyager. Just
a
saying.
completely different thing.
We do have that. I was being facetious. Okay, we do have a call coming in, but we have one more question first, and then I'll answer the call. All right, you'll get this one. Got you for 3 questions. This is question number 3. You got 2 wrong, 1 still in a state of flux. That's an episode of Voyager, by the way. Okay.
Wow. Worst I've ever done.
What 1987 feature comedy was Leonard Nimoy's next directing assignment after The Voyage Home?
I want to say
You're probably right.
3 Men and a Bijan.
Okay. But what would you really say?
3 Men and a Baby?
Wah, wah, yay! Woo! 3 Men and a Baby.
I got it. All right. I still think it should be 3 Men and a Bijan, but that's just
I only watched that episode because I heard Leonard Nimoy was directing. The omnipotent Willard. Hello, Willard. What was your favorite part of Coming of Age, Season 1, Episode 19, written by Sandy Fries? And caller, please turn your radio down.
I'm going to give you the same answer I've given you before. I haven't seen it in 3 decades, so.
Oh, well, now after all that, you really want to go back and watch it, right, Willard?
I'll get to it. Eventually,
right.
I'll get back to my rewatch.
Yep.
Probably this summer after I catch up on everything else that's current right now.
So how is Omnipotence going? How's the continuum?
Yeah, it's going.
What's new? So what was your memory of this episode before we spoiled it with our thoughts?
Well, I'd forgotten that this was the episode that set up Conspiracy. Conspiracy, again, I haven't seen it in 3 decades, but Conspiracy is one that I remember quite clearly. So I'll probably talk to you guys about that one when you get to it.
Yeah, I think I've seen Conspiracy maybe twice, and I know it more from the memes online that kind of take the piss out of Next Gen and the Roddenberry vision, and because of just the gruesome way that one ends. But again, we'll get to that. It's hard to not try to go down the conspiracy rabbit hole when you're talking about this episode, because it does lead to one of the few connective things that we have in season 1. So,
and it's hard to watch and not think about Conspiracy because all I picture is that old man like kicking people, throwing them across rooms, you know.
So yeah. But Willard, did you have any strong feelings about Wes that this episode helped change that you can recall, or?
No, I've always liked Wesley. I didn't. What was I about? Oh, let's see, Chris. You and I are the same age.
Oh, so you were in your 20s when this aired?
No.
19? I was
19
like
maybe.
What was 89, right?
No, did it come out in 89 or 86?
80, let me look. I want to say Pi Day 88. Let me see.
88. I was 18 when it aired.
88. Yep.
Pi Day
yeah.
88.
So,
Pi 88.
well, the reason why I called in is I do have a little bit of show and tell.
Woo!
So
Not
we'll
a
do
Trek
some
and
Trek and
tell,
tells.
but a show and tell.
Trek and tell from the omnipotent Willard. What you got?
I tend to buy my books off of thrift books, and they have a wish list. And I had a book on there, very rare, very hard to find book, and it came up 2 weeks ago. I got a notification that the book was available, so I quickly logged in and bought it. So let's see if I can get.
I wonder what book it could be.
Whoa! I love that.
I'm half tempted. It's not in the best shape. It's a little warped. But
Wow.
Well,
That
I
ain't
figured
come
it might
cheap.
be my only shot at getting it.
That haven't come cheap.
I'm
When we
half
do our
tempted
live
to.
tour of Treksploration, you'll have to bring it with you
I'm
to
half
get it
tempted
signed.
to. I'm half tempted to stick it in the send it to the PO box. Get it.
Huh? If you do sign that, Chris, make sure you video that. That's
yeah,
our
well,
biggest video on the other channel.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do a signing. I'll look better than when I signed your books. God,
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I look like garbage in that.
I was not able to call in during your section 31. I was going to, but I had to head to bed before you guys got to call in section. So I do want to make a comment on that. A couple of comments. First of all, Albie, I think you were right based on interviews that I've read. And that I think you were right. They did basically take the ideas for season 1 of the series and just squash it down to a movie. Personally, I think if they'd have just gone with it, just threw that out and just gone with a new story, I think it'd, a movie story. I think it would have been a lot better because this was just an episode. I mean, the big bad was. I did read that the big bad was always supposed for season 1 was always supposed to be that guy that JoJo liked.
Yeah, that was confirmed by some insiders in the writing room that it was going to be a full season, but they just squashed it because they didn't want to. They didn't want to launch it as a series, but they had so much invested, they figured they would get a TV movie out of it. And
I think they should have just thrown all that out, kept the characters, just thrown all that out, and just did a story that was specifically written to be a movie. Because I think they just, with a series, you have so many ideas. That I mean, there's 10 episodes for a Paramount series,
Yeah.
and they were trying to squash 10 episodes worth of ideas down to a 2-hour movie, and they should have just threw that out and just said, "Hey, here's an idea, that we can do in 2 hours. Let's just do this." I think it would have been much, much better. And on that point, I hated it. I can't believe Chris found something good in it. I thought it was going to be the other way around. I thought I was going to love it and Chris was going to hate it. I know Chris didn't love it.
I didn't love it, but I try to be circumspect with this stuff because I mean, part of our job in this endeavor is to talk about things, and I find that if you're just hating on something without putting it in some kind of broader context, it becomes very one note. I'm not going to defend the show we did on Section 31. We went on way too long.
I don't see it.
But I don't want to just bash something. So did I hate it? Kinda. But there were things in there that I found at least somewhat intriguing.
Yeah, see, I didn't. But again, I only watched it once. I will watch it again at some point, maybe during a rewatch.
I watched it 5 times, 5 times, 5 times,
I'll
5
be in
times, 5
Stockholm
times.
syndrome when it comes to that. So.
Yeah,
say,
I
I
think
might
that's
have
what
to-
helped me. It really did.
So I say I might have to watch it 5 times in order to like it. Who knows? But I do know I need to watch it at least one more time. And when I get back to my rewatch, right now, technically, I'm beyond that point chronologically, but I'll probably go back and watch it and then move on.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but the online hate that the creators got was overdone.
No, I don't think the fans gave it a shot. The trailer didn't do it any favors. They could have done a better trailer.
I don't know with the story they told. I don't know what they could have done. That'd be nice. Ooh, that would be an editing challenge. Make a good trailer for Section 31.
So we say, post them down below.
Yeah. That'd be funny.
So anyway, that's all I wanted to show you. I got that book.
I love that book. Have you read it yet?
I appreciate that.
Great
No,
book.
no, not yet. And I only listened to the first part of your guys' read of it. So
All right. Well, I hope
eventually I'll get around to.
Yeah, it's a great book. I highly recommend
My
it.
reading has. I used to be a voracious reader. When I was younger, I was reading 10. I'd have a stack of 10 books. Read a chapter and move on to the next book and just recycle. But I was finishing 2-3 books a day. When this fibromyalgia hit me, I just couldn't concentrate, couldn't read. Yeah, for 30 years, I couldn't read. And now on medication that's got my concentration a little better.
Good.
And I'm trying to read more, but it's still a challenge for me to read. It takes me a while.
Well,
never going to read like I used to, I don't think.
That's good. I was going to say, I just heard about a new medication that is a different type of painkiller that's non-addictive and non-hallucinogenic, but it does help with fibromyalgia. So
Yeah.
I was going to
Well,
send
I
you
was
that.
on a painkiller, meloxicam, but that's what shut my kidneys down and put me in the hospital for 4 days.
Never
At the
good.
same
Need those.
And so I was told that I could never take it again. But
Mhm.
my doctor and I both agree that I got to get back on it. I'm on. Well, I'm going to pain management for it. It's an addictive
Oh.
medication. I'm not happy about it.
Well, you heard it here first. If you got an
it's
extra
not-
kidney for Willard, let us know in the
Okay,
comments
then-
down below.
I say it's not working anywhere near as good as meloxicam did. I actually have an appointment tomorrow with my doctor. I had blood taken on Tuesday, so
What's your blood type?
I'm going to discuss. Oh, it was just to check my levels.
Oh, okay.
Check my kidneys, check all that. So if everything's good, I'm going to tell them, hey, let's get me back on it, and then we just test my.
Yeah, just
blood
don't take any ibuprofen at the same time.
No, I take Tylenol.
It's not easy being omnipotent. It really isn't.
Mhm.
You should fill out your stuff so when they call you at the doctor's office, they'd be like, the omnipotent Willard?
I'm going to tell them to call me up from now on.
Yeah, there you go. Claim it everywhere. All right. Well, thanks so much for calling in, Willard. Please call in again. Any last words before we end the call-in segment?
No. I did want to say that I listened to. What was it? I think it was the Captain's Table.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that Goober got the last word in on that.
Oh, yeah, he did.
And
Yep.
they're both
right,
back here.
right?
Well, all three of them are back here
Yep.
sleeping.
I made sure they were well represented and yet not invasive. So it was like the perfect
Yeah.
mix.
Well, I didn't watch it, so I don't know how much you showed of them actually.
Oh, bunches. Puppies everywhere.
But
We love the pups.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm surprised they're over there sleeping right now. It's bedtime. They're used to sleeping this time of night.
In my fantasy, I want to have a podcast where Lily and Toby talk about coming of age, and then Goober calls in. Just saying.
Yeah, I can get him to call in.
All
Maybe
right.
not right now. He's sacked out.
I'm about to be the same.
All right, gang.
Me
Thank you
too.
so much,
That's
Willard.
Why
Thank you,
I'm
Willard, and
really
thank you
glad
for
you
buying
finally
the
got to the
book.
call-in segment. Because, I'm coming off of you guys are gonna not believe this, but I'm coming off of 3 days of no sleep. I bout of insomnia. It's part of my fibromyalgia, and I slept last night. I slept about 14 hours. And
Wow.
think I was going to sleep this soon, but I'm ready. It's hitting me. So
That's my schedule.
and I learned a long time
Yeah.
ago, and I'm tired to go to bed. 'Cause
Well, read foreknowledge and get
Right.
back to us, just like Chris is going to read Imzadi and get back to us.
Right. That
And,
will
uh,
right to sleep.
I need to read Imzadi again too. So you guys need to let me know when
Do
you
the
get
book club
figures to
episode
doing that
pretty
show
soon.
so I can reread it.
We'll do
Ooh.
it pretty soon, maybe.
Yeah, but I think after you read foreknowledge, like you, it will, like me, it will be one of your favorite books. So
Yeah. We
Thank
might
you so
have to
much.
follow up with Imzadi too.
yeah, we'll do a little bonus part in our Imzadi episode about foreknowledge. I would love that.
All right, gang.
Well, Chris,
I'm a
I'm going
fan.
to order your other book too eventually. I just
All right,
my money situation got tight, so
If you need, I'll send you a PDF. No big deal.
Yeah.
Oh.
That'd be great. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds
All right.
great.
Thank you so much,
Well-
Willard. I hope you enjoy foreknowledge. Be brutally honest when you do read it, and
yeah. Well,
let me know
I'm
what you
gonna
like,
say
what you didn't
eventually
like.
I'm going to have stuff I want you guys to read, and I'm going to be wanting
Awesome.
honesty because it's going to be pre-publication that I have
There-
you guys
Cool.
read it.
There's only one person that I know of that's not a fan of foreknowledge, and that's Chris.
Eh,
So
it's a-
I don't know. It's a humble brag. My book not so good. My published novel based on quantum leap. Nah.
I don't think any writer's totally happy with what
It's
they
pretty
write.
okay.
They
Yeah,
can
I
always
love
think
it.
of something that they could change or add, or you know.
It's worth the read. That's for sure.
That's just part of writing. You reach a point where you have to say, okay, it's done, but you're always gonna.
Plus,
Yeah.
I have 30 plus years of perspective of the person I was when I wrote it versus who I am now. So, but again, all right, we're talking about Treksploration, not foreknowledge.
Treksploration.
We're talking about
of love.
Wesley Crusher.
All right.
And,
Sounds good. Thank you so
yeah.
much for calling in, Willard. I'm going to let you go. Remember to hang on the line in the background while it's uploading until you're completely finished.
Yeah, I sure will.
All right. Thank you, Willard.
Willard.
Yep. See you
Good
guys
for you, my
next
friend.
time.
Good night.
Good night, Irene. All right. And we're back. Yeah, that's awesome. I had no idea he was going to do that.
All right. What's your truck and tell?
My Trek and Tell. Okay, I got something. This
I got a good one.
This is not my Trek and Tell, but I just want to show it. My coming of age laser disc,
Nice.
and it's got my episode crush on it right there.
There she is.
Right there, and it's got Murdoch. So eventually I'll get Sandy to sign this. I might send him this and my VHS copy. I bought a specific VHS copy because I, for some reason, didn't have it when I went to talk to Sandy, but it didn't get here until after I talked to Sandy. So I have the VHS, the standalone. I do want to open this real quick.
Uh-oh.
We don't do a show for a month, and then we're doing all
Yeah,
kinds
I mean,
of stuff. Oh,
what's
and it's
this?
not. Oh, needles. It's not my diabetic needles. Now
Wait a
I know
minute.
where they went.
30 gauge? What are those?
Huh?
30 gauge?
The
DT?
100 pack of, I want to say 31 gauge. 31 gauge.
Okay.
The ones I was subscribed to on Amazon, they can't deliver here anymore. Is that a law? What is that?
I don't know.
So these they deliver. So I get
That's
these.
your
now.
Trek and tell. Needles.
That's my Trek and Tell.
All right,
Needles.
there we go.
No, I
I
wanted
thought
to.
Needles was a character in Back to the Future.
Exactly. That's why I did the little thing before. So I got this, and we're going to be doing a little Quantum Leap unboxing
Ooh.
of the new Blu-ray series and talking about like season 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. So if you're a fan of Quantum Leap as well, if that's how you found Treksploration, check out the Quantum Leap feed in a little bit. Me, Brian Green, and possibly others.
Who's
We'll
that
be talking
handsome
about-
gentleman on the
Huh?
cover of that handsome gentleman?
I know. That's
All right.
Ray.
It's Ray. Our
Oh,
good friend Ray.
Because I'm watching Kevin Can Go F himself right now.
Yeah, Ray's
Loving
in
it.
there.
I dipped out 15 minutes mark the first time I tried a couple years ago. I shouldn't have. At the 16-minute mark, blew my mind. So
There you go.
love it. Got to finish that. Actually, tonight is probably where I'll finish it. But yeah, I can't wait to watch this and talk about it. And I got the complete series coming, but Brian got the complete series. So we're going to open both and look at them and talk about them. So check that out on the Quantum Leap
Groovy.
podcast feed.
Love it.
My Trek and Tell. Should I go first or you? You know what my
You.
Trek and Tell is.
I
Okay,
don't.
my Trek and Tell is, I hope I haven't done these before, but let's say if I have, oh well, we're old guys. We're talking about needles and medications.
You have no idea what memories those bring back. So anyone listening on the podcast feed that's not looking at you, Albie, describe what you're showing us here.
These are 3 Star Trek books. The says 300 full color authentic scenes. We got these are novelizations, but more like comic books with actual pictures from the episodes, the Galileo 7, Day of the Dove, and Where No Man Has Gone Before. So let me just open the Galileo 7 real quick to a random page.
Yep.
And it's just like the coolest way of making a comic book. Like you didn't have a television studio in your pocket. Nobody had plutonium at every street corner, drugstore. But if you wanted to rewatch an episode of Star Trek and you were at work, taking your break, there you go. This is how you do it.
So let me tell you why this thrills me. I got a couple of reasons. Those bring back such memories to me. Those photo novels is what they called them.
Photo novels? Okay.
And I discovered them in my local public library when I was about 12, 13, and I took them out endlessly. I just kept on borrowing them and borrowing them and borrowing them and rereading and rereading. I loved them. So I see those and I get like this rush of nostalgia. And
Smell good.
if you like that kind of presentation of Trek, I would like you I would like to turn you on to my friend Neek, who's on a lot of the Infinite Potato shows that Sean produces. Neek Yeager does Star Trek recaps in that vein, but they're hilariously funny. And you can get those on superanemic.com. That's Neek's site where you can find she's done all of TOS. She's in the middle of doing TNG. But again, it's like those screen caps with captions. And it's just fantastic. And Where
Gary
No Man Has
Mitchell,
Gone
Silvery
Before-
Eyes.
No Man Has Gone Before is probably my favorite episode of Star Trek. So
Wow. We're there. Oh, we already did that one, didn't we? No, that's next on the TOG.
Yeah, it's next on.
TOS.
That's next on TOS. Yeah.
All right, we'll have to hustle to get there. Do you know how many of these are out? Because I love them.
I don't know. Where did you get them?
It was an eBay lot. It said books. Sometimes
Okay.
I just find stuff and Star Trek books, and I was like, I've never seen those in my life. Buy, and they weren't bad at all.
I've
Like,
never
but
seen those outside of my public library, like in the wild, you know, because I would pick them up if I found them. I have never seen them since I was a kid in the library.
yeah, who has these? Let us know.
Yeah.
I think I told you this before, right? I spent my days in high school in the public library. Library? Library. I'm from New Jersey. I have speech impediment.
Library.
Hydrocodone. That's what Willard was taking. Hydrocodone. That sounds yummy. But yeah, I spent my high school days. They made me go once every 30 days to high school. And I would spend those days in the library because if I went to my classes that I was supposed to go to, the teachers would be like, "Who are you? Why are you in this class?" I'd be like, "I go here. They make me."
Okay.
So I just would go to the library and read Star Trek books.
That's a whole podcast in itself.
It
Which I'll
is.
explore.
But yeah,
So, are you ready
th-
for my Trek and Tell?
I want to know about your Trek and Tell. What
So
is your
this-
Trek and Tell, Christopher DeFilippis? The D stands for delicious.
Trek and Tell until yesterday, but my good friend, or Tuesday, my dear friend Dominic, who I work with every week, he took it upon himself to get me a birthday present, and it just came in like this week, and he was so. To me, this is like, who does this? Who does this? But I want to show you,
What's his name?
Dominic.
Dominic does this. Oh wow, is that you? That's you.
So for anybody listening on the podcast feed, this is a bobblehead of me in a command gold tunic with a phaser at my hip. My friend Dominic had this made custom for me. So
Wow. Now I feel like crap. I only got you a lousy chair. He got you you.
he got me me. He got me me bobbly. Bobbly me.
So how can I be friends with this Dominic? Not to get an action figure myself, but just so I want to be friends with him. That's what I'm saying. Wow.
So there we go. I don't know.
I've never seen you in bobblehead form before.
Me neither. So that's my Trek and Tell.
What did you think when you opened that?
I was just like, oh my God. Like, what did it take? First, I was just thrilled with it. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then, like a half hour pass, we're seeing patients and stuff like that. And it occurs to me, it's like, what kind of cyber stalking was involved in you getting enough photographs of me to get this made?
Wow.
And he also said, he's going back and forth with the people that make it.
Yeah.
And it's like bobbleme or bobblebee.com. I don't know.
Okay.
And
I'll look it up.
They asked, all right, so when it comes to like flesh tone, like how white is he? And he said, how white do you get? As white
Pizza
as
dough.
it gets.
Pizza dough.
Yeah. So that's
Wow. Is that going behind you on the shelf?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna put him next to Ensign Lynch.
Like you did to Ensign Lynch.
There we go. Ensign Lynch is going to.
Wow.
There we go.
I think you come in second with Trek and Tell. Only beaten by Willard with a book of foreknowledge.
Yeah. Well, that's right there behind me. Now it's.
Oh, that's perfect. You got the perfect set. No, that's amazing.
So yeah. So thank you, Dominic, very much.
I love it.
Really enjoyed it.
And Command Gold. Does it have a rank on there? What is that on the sleeves back then?
Nah,
right?
it's just little stripes on the sleeves.
All right.
It's not that accurate, but it's accurate enough.
I knew what it was. I knew it was you in Starfleet uniform. That's pretty amazing.
So pretty cool, right?
Yeah, pretty cool. Hopefully I watched the show to get all the angles of you.
Pretty cool.
So it's good that you have a close-up shot sometimes. All right, so that's awesome. That was a great Trek and Tell. I love that, and we'll link it below, hopefully. So I think all that is left is I don't have any cleanup. Do you have any cleanup before we do our final thoughts and ratings?
No, I think we're there.
Okay, Christopher DeFilippis, the D stands for delicious. What are your final thoughts and ratings out of 5 for Season 1, Episode 19 of Star Trek The Next Generation, written by Professor Sandy Fries, Coming of Age?
At the risk of repeating myself, I think this is just a standout episode of season one of the Next Gen. And since we're only on season one, this is maybe a standout episode of the series so far. We're not going to take future things into account.
Mhm.
It did so much to give humanization and characterization and just gave you a feeling of living with these characters instead of just watching these characters. So, because of that, and because of just, I feel like it marks, like you said before, a change in the direction of the entire series. I'm gonna have to give it the 4.5 Scooby Jake outfits out of 5, and not Jake Cisco cosplaying Blue Beetle in season one of DS9, but the Jake that was in this one. His name was Jake, right? Am I getting it right?
Jake,
Yeah.
Jake the Snake,
He
Roberts,
just
I
he
believe.
just had he just had such a cool outfit, so I loved it. I loved it. How about you?
The fashionista, Christopher. All right. Well, one of my favorite episodes of season one, even before befriending the writer of the episode. Uh, I think I always liked it because it was a Wesley episode and it just spoke to me at the right time. And in a way, I think I connected more with Wesley because of this episode. Because even though I was a fanboy of Wesley, he was something that I didn't even aspire to because I never thought I could be as all knowledgeable, all powerful as Wesley Crusher. I didn't even think that. It'd be cool, but I'm not getting there. But when they Sandy humanized him in this episode, it made me feel better about all my insecurities. So it furthered the connection, and for that reason, I'm going to give it. I didn't write it down, and I forgot what it was. I'm going to give it two. No, I'm going to give it 7 out of 5.
Hmm.
I got nothing. Damn it. Is this live?
It doesn't have to be.
I'm going to give it 7. Teen Wolf 2 girlfriends. 7 Teen Wolf 2 girlfriends.
Okay.
No, I remember now. I'm going to give it. Okay, reset. And because of that, I won't edit it out either. And because of that, I'm going to give it 7 Sandys out of 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
I changed it a couple times, but that's what I landed on and forgot. Okay.
Teen Wolf 2, Sandy's. So.
Yeah. I was going back and forth, but definitely Sandys. This episode got 7 Sandys out of 5, which is better than perfect
Oh,
for so many reasons.
the one thing that I forgot
Yes.
to talk about, what bumped me, is just the ugly uniform design for any kind of admiral. I mean, what is going on with those triangles and those gold trim, and it's just so awkward and dumb looking. But
Agreed.
what are you gonna do?
Agreed. It was rough. There was a couple scants in this episode. Are they
yeah.
scants or are they skirts when they're on
Scans, skirts, but they
feminine
were
person.
down on Revlar 7's training facility.
Yeah.
So
Great job by Michael Okuda in this episode as well. Got to shout him out. Just a great episode overall, and I look forward to watching it again. This one is not self-harm when watched more than 5 times.
there we go. There we go. No Stockholm syndrome here.
Nope.
All right. So now that we have had our final thoughts, we want to hear what you at home think of this episode. Please tell us right here below on the YouTube channel.
Very important. Comment many times, please.
Comment many times. You can also support the show at patreon.com/Treksploration. You can go there and you can find the and more segments that we do just for our Patreon supporters. You can Instagram us at TrekSplorationPod. You can get us on Blue Sky at TrekSploration.biscuit.
Blue sky, smiling
Email
at me.
us,
Nothing but blue
TrekSplorationPod
sky.
at
Do I
gmail.com. Buy us a coffee, buymeacoffee.com/Treksploration.
Willer did. Be cool like him.
And you can also send us whatever you'd like in the post office box. That's P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York 11705.
Is it true, Chris, that you will autograph anything sent to you in that post office box?
Anything sent to me or presented in front of me.
Aw. All
So
right.
there
You
we
got your silver Sharpie?
I do.
Nice.
You know I do. It's the
know
one
you
that
do.
Scott Bakula used to sign my stuff.
Wow. You should
So-
post that. Yeah, I'm still trying to get the ballpoint pen that Sandy used to write this episode out of him.
Out of him.
Yeah.
It's in him. You should get it. That could be dangerous. But,
No, he's not sure which pen it is, but he knows it's one of several. So does that count? Maybe I'll do that with the script and mount it in a frame. I don't know. That'd be
sounds
cool.
like a plan, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do we have coming up next on Treksploration, Christopher DeFilippis?
We have a TNG recap for season 1, episode 20. Heart of Glory. Could that be a
Heart of Glory.
Klingon episode, maybe?
Yeah, it might be some Keening in that. I don't know.
I don't know. Sounds very Klingon to me. And
Sounds very
for the
Klingon.
next bonus recap, we've been threatening this for a while. Prodigy, season 1, episode 1 and 2, I guess. Lost and
2.
Found. Yeah.
Lost and Found.
So we're going to be doing that as well.
We got to know when Linda has sufficiently watched that episode before we launch it, because we want.
It's Linda's problem.
All right, so I think that about wraps it up. Thank you so much, everyone, for dealing with our medical issues. Again, the hives and the gorge.
The hives,
And,
the gorge, the whole thing.
The whole thing. And we appreciate you standing by and sticking around for us. If you haven't watched the Voyager commentary I did by myself, like Christopher didn't, go ahead and watch those.
It's first I'm hearing of it, really.
Really? Oh my God. I don't text you enough. This is what I'm learning. All right. So for Treksploration, I'm Albie.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next time. Skirt!
Bobble, bobble.
Yeah, you have to get the last word. So I always put that in. So yeah, these are cool. I really like these. I wish they did this for the whole series. Maybe they did. But I think it was like only like $5 shipped. And I was like, what? Because it was like mislabeled. You know, nobody knew who it was. Or what it was. It was just books.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, so that's cool. Treksploration of love. I love you very much. Beautiful. All right. Yeah, our credits are getting longer, but send us those pictures. Any pictures you got. Doubles are fine. Who'd you meet in Star Trek? Where can you get dressed up in your Star Trek uniform and be in a jury and go to court? Send us those pictures. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on the live. I think we're good for credits. I'm going to stop it in a second. Thank you, Willard, for calling in. Always a pleasure, and that was amazing that you got Chris's book. And check your mailbox in a few days, and we'll see what happens. All right. So thank you, live audience, and thank you, everybody who stuck around during the break. And thank you for dealing with us going through our sponsor. That's a new thing moving forward, but we got to pay the bill somehow. Opera, yep.
Opera.
All right. So bye, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Peace out. Bye.
Bye.
I do it now. Peace out. Bye. And then we got to wait like 5 seconds because it's still going for like 5 seconds.